It's Wednesday, November 5th.
Every Canadian should feel that there's something for them.
The federal budget revealing a $78 billion deficit, highlighting new infrastructure investments and deep cuts to the public service.
It's definitely the next major leap in advancement in surgery.
Regina's Pasqua Hospital is now home to a new piece of technology that will help perform surgeries.
You know, for Trev, and whatever guys we throw out there, you know, he's going to make it work.
Final preparations underway for the West Final. Who's in and who may be out? Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl.
And I'm Kaylee, and we hope your day is off to a great start.
Are you tired? You got a big day of Dancing with the Stars and everything.
Well, the time change has messed everything up.
That's my point.
I love moving to Saskatchewan and not having daylight savings anymore, but now Dancing with the Stars was on 7 to 9. Yep. I am a solid 8 p.m. in bed asleep. That
was my debate. If we got rid of time change, would you rather stay on Calgary time all the time or Winnipeg time?
Well, what's your answer?
Calgary, because then your shows are all earlier.
Yeah.
Sports. Now I can't see a third period of hockey game.
I just want Calgary so I can be on the same time as my family.
Mom and Dad,
yeah.
The whole deal. Let's get over to news for this part of the hour. Prime Minister Mark Carney's first federal budget comes with nearly $90 billion in new spending.
To weather the storm of uncertainty, we will not lower ourselves, Mr. Speaker. Quite the opposite. We will raise them to catch the winds of economic change because we believe in Canada.
The federal budget also contains a deficit nearly twice the size forecast by the Liberals a year ago. The spending plan projects a $78 billion deficit for the fiscal year. Over the next 5 years, the Liberals are promising $141 billion in new measures, which the government plans to offset with $51.2 billion in savings. One of the biggest areas of spending is $81.8 billion over 5 years on national defense. That will get Canada to its NATO commitment of 2% of GDP. The government has also earmarked $51 billion over the next decade for new infrastructure projects, $1.7 billion for new strategies to attract international talent, and the Build Canada Homes program is getting $13 billion over 5 years, including $2.8 billion for Indigenous housing.
We Conservatives cannot support this costly Liberal budget.
After having met with our caucus tonight, we could vote in favor of this budget.
We're going to talk to Canadians, particularly working Canadians, and review this budget.
The Conservatives and Bloc have already said they won't support the budget. The NDP so far has left the door open. The minority Liberals are now 2 seats shy of a majority after Nova Scotia MP Chris d'Entremont decided to cross the floor.
It's disappointing that Chris d'Entremont has decided that he doesn't want to fight for a more affordable life for Canadians, that he doesn't want to fight inflationary deficits that are driving up grocery prices in his riding.
Chris d'Entremont was voted into the House in 2019. He won his riding by 1.1% in the last federal election. Ukrainian students attending Saskatchewan universities are facing massive tuition increases. They had been paying the same tuition as Canadian students, but now they've been informed they'll be switching to international student rates in the near future. Wayne Mantika with the fallout.
These Ukrainian students were shocked to receive an email from the University of Saskatchewan saying that their break on tuition will end in March.
I was absolutely devastated. I was hoping to build future in Canada, as I've mentioned earlier, and I was really upset. Me and many other students, my parents are worrying of how I can build my future here in Canada, contribute to this great country.
The provincial government had promised Ukrainian students that they would pay the same tuition as Canadians and refugees. That's about $8,000 per year. The international student rate that they are now facing is 5 times that.
People who flee the war typically don't have just $40,000 lying around. It's just not how it works. We're hoping that this government accepts the idea of continuing this program.
The NDP is asking that Ukrainian students continue to be treated as Saskatchewan residents.
Because Ukrainians are not considered refugees, they're being forced to pay this crazy amount of tuition.
The provincial government says about 26 students from Ukraine are receiving a tuition break. pandemic at a cost to the province of $300,000 per year.
This program is in place till the end of March, and we're in November right now, so that's where this program is. And in the future there may be an extension or there may be a new program.
The provincial government recognizes that it made a commitment to Ukrainians who fled to Canada. It suggests that student concerns are premature and that discussions will take place with Ottawa, which is cost-sharing the tuition program. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Regina.
Saskatoon murder trial now entering its third week. Jeremy Dodge, who did we hear from in court yesterday?
Daryl, we heard from a woman who was in the home at the time of the fatal shooting. Now, Andrew Rosenfeld on trial for second-degree murder in the death of his 20-year-old girlfriend, Nikera Brown, who was found shot in their apartment November 15th, 2022. His aunt also lived in the home, and she testified she heard the couple yelling that evening, followed by a gunshot and Rosenfeld screaming. The trial is expected to continue today. A Saskatoon man is thankful to be alive and wants changes to a highway intersection after a traffic collision on Thanksgiving weekend. Lorenzo Givelichin was headed south on Highway 11 near the Grasswoods Esso when he was hit by an SUV traveling east. First responders told him his vehicle rolled and wound up on its roof. Now, he doesn't remember the impact, but he says safety improvements like maybe an overpass are needed, so he's started a petition.
I will do everything possible in my power to change the safety regulation on this intersection, whatever it takes, and I'm going to ask the public to help me in this endeavor because it's not only for today, for us, it's also for tomorrow for our children.
Givelichin works as a pediatric intensive care doctor, and he treats children who have been involved in crashes. He wants to use his voice to advocate for improvements to the intersection. Daryl, weekend Regina death investigation. Now it's a homicide investigation.
Yeah, Jeremy, the 10th homicide of the year, and it happened at a home on Saturday in the 1000 block of 12th Avenue. Police say a man was shot. The name will not be made public at the request of the family. We do know he was 19 years of age, and the investigation is ongoing. The man charged in the Highway 39 shooting death of a woman near Weyburn will be back in court Thursday for a bail hearing. Chris Fallman is charged with 1 count of manslaughter and other gun-related charges in the death of Tanya Myers on September 12th. The bail hearing is set for Thursday at 2 p.m. A Regina man is facing impaired driving charges after a pedestrian was struck Monday night at the intersection of Athol Street and 8th Avenue. The victim sustained minor injuries. The driver will be back in court later this month. At least 7 people have died after a cargo plane crashed shortly after takeoff at the Louisville, Kentucky airport.
There were 3 crew members on the plane. The 4 that we have confirmed dead are not on the plane.
Security video shows the moments before and after the crash. The UPS plane crashed into an auto shop. There are still 2 workers unaccounted for. Officials say the massive fire that followed the crash was caused by a large amount of fuel the plane was carrying at the time. Now, the plane was starting a trip to Hawaii when it crashed. The Louisville airport is expected to reopen at some point later this morning. Tamara Leach is appealing a mischief conviction for her role in the Freedom Convoy that paralyzed downtown Ottawa in early 2022. Leach and fellow organizer Chris Barber were found guilty of mischief back in April for their roles in the mass demonstration. Lawyers for Leach say she encouraged protesters to be peaceful, lawful, and safe, and there was no evidence linking her to the misdeeds of others. The countdown is on to playoff football at Mosaic Stadium. Your Saskatchewan Roughriders may still be without 1,000-yard receiver Keyshawn Johnson. He didn't practice yesterday. Dante Myers was back on the field, though. He missed the last 3 weeks with an ankle injury.
We got some weapons back. You know, you guys, you've seen Shafe, you've seen Sam. You guys got to know me and Keyshawn this year. You know, so it's gonna be real exciting. It's gonna be a nice show for Mosaic. It's gonna be a nice show for Riderville.
We've seen it all year, man. There's in that entire room, there's a ton. You know, Dante's definitely made a bunch of plays. You know, for Trev, whatever guys we throw out there, you know, he's gonna make it work.
Johnson has not been officially ruled out for Saturday at this point. Kickoff 5:30 on Saturday. Kayleen Sawatsky, we need an early look at that game day forecast if we're going to the stadium. And 30,000 plus might be chilly.
Yeah, so originally, just a couple days ago, we were talking about the potential of some flurries on game day in Regina. However, it does seem like the radar has shifted. We're not expecting any more of that snow falling on Saturday. What we are expecting, though, is those temperatures to be dropping. It's going to be cool, and the wind chill going to be making it feel even colder than it actually is. -8 to wake us up in Regina. We do have some clear skies to start the day. Some more clouds will be making their way into the area throughout the afternoon, and barely any winds right now. Calm to start the day in Saskatoon, but it is cool. -10 to start the day. A few clouds to start the day there as well. And we also have the potential of not really getting into those positive temperatures until about the noon hour today. Let's take a look at this futurecast. There's a lot to show as we make our way through the rest of the work week. So not a lot right now, as you can see, but as we make our way into the afternoon, still seeing some of those clouds moving in, just not any more of that precipitation until late this evening. So Saskatoon, you could be seeing some of those flurries into those evening and overnight hours tonight, as you can see. And then we have some rain coming in from the south. That's going to be impacting Regina starting tomorrow morning. Some mixed precipitation down in that far southeast corner there around Estevan. And then some more of those flurries tracking north there and going to be falling around Prince Albert tomorrow. And then they're going to be tracking all the way down through the south. Yorkton, the Parkland region, going to be seeing those flurries, and areas south of Swift Current going to be seeing some more of that rain into the evening hours on Thursday. Then we look forward to Friday, where we see part of the other system move out of the way, and we see some more coming in from Alberta. Again, bringing mixed precipitation. We don't really have it falling one way or the other quite yet. It's going to bring snow and rain and some stuff right in between with that freezing rain into Friday morning and then into Friday afternoon as well. You can see that by the evening hours, it's going to be right over top of Regina there. Current temperatures now showing -8 for Prince Albert, -6 for Melfort, -4 in Hudson Bay. Down towards the south, we're seeing -6 in Swift Current, -7 in Assiniboia, and -6 in Estevan. Today's forecast later on, we're seeing 8 degrees for Moose Jaw, 7 degrees for Weyburn, 7 degrees for Estevan, and 5 degrees for Yorkton. And the 5-day forecast for Regina, again, showing that rain tomorrow, snow Friday, but temperatures dropping for game day down to about -4. Wind chill, again, could be making it feel a little bit cooler. -2 on Sunday. And then in Saskatoon, seeing flurries for Thursday, Friday. Temperatures dropping to -4 on Saturday with that mix of sun and cloud, and -2 on Sunday.
A new piece of technology is now in use at the Regina Pasqua Hospital. Damian Smith has the details on a robot already helping with surgeries.
A new device is in use at the Pasqua Hospital. The Da Vinci surgical system has conducted almost 20 surgeries since September.
If you're a young surgeon, this is another way, another tool in your toolbox.
The robot-assisted system has a surgeon situated at the control panel, guiding the robot's arms that hold tiny surgical tools, as well as a 3D camera, which creates a detailed outline for the surgeon. The system is said to filter out hand tremors, sometimes induced by stress or fatigue. The key is efficiency.
All of these things kind of combine to lead to kind of these better patient outcomes that's been discussed over and over, decreased post-op complications, decreased pain, shorter hospital stays.
This is the third Da Vinci surgical system that has landed in Saskatchewan. St. Paul's Hospital in Saskatoon has 2, the first arriving back in 2022. The health minister noting that the new system in Regina can be more geographically accommodating for those in southern Saskatchewan.
If you live live in a place like Assiniboia, if you live in a place like Yorkton or Estevan, if you have to have major surgery, that typically happens in Regina.
The system can be used to remove cancerous tumors in organs, as well as urology, kidney, and bladder procedures. It can also be used for hysterectomies and hernias. More specialized procedures will be added as more surgeons are trained.
If you're comparing laparoscopic surgery to robotic surgery, the scale of benefits is less, especially with the smaller procedures. With the bigger procedures, there's a lot of evidence for decreased complication rates, less pain, lower readmission rates.
The Pasqua Hospital is aiming to conduct 300 annual surgeries with the Da Vinci device once it's fully operational. Damian Smith, CTV News, Regina.
Health Report, brought to you in part by Saskatchewan Blue Cross, protecting your health since 1946.
Well, in case you missed it, one of Saskatchewan's own bands is going on a Canadian tour with 3 stops in their home province. Sheepdogs make their first Saskatchewan stop in Saskatoon April 18th, Yorkton April 19th, and Regina on April 25th. Tickets for all 3 shows go on sale on Friday.
From the cover of the Rolling Stone to a showroom near you.
Everyone gets to see them once.
Yeah, I haven't seen them since they really blew up on the Rolling Stone. That was, boy, man, that was a long time ago.
Well, now you can grab tickets, Jeremy.
Yeah. Excited.
They'll probably let you introduce the show, star like you. Listen, it is apparently, for Jeremy at least, take your kid to work day, right? Your daughter's on the way or there now?
She will be here, yeah, within the hour.
Within the hour.
3 a.m. was a little early for her.
I don't blame her.
Yeah.
Get a real job just like that. What did you want to be when you grew up is our question of the day because of that. And bonus points if you're actually doing it. What did you want to be, Jeremy?
Well, when I was young, I always thought a teacher would be pretty cool. But
Summers off.
As I got into high school, I thought being a news anchor would be pretty awesome. And it was only until about 20 years ago that I finally figured out that might have been a possibility. But yeah, I think I'm pretty much where I had hoped to be at some point in my youth.
I love Kayleen's story because she didn't want to go to take your kid to work day with mom or dad, so she called up somebody else.
Well, I thought both of my parents had lame jobs, so I called up the local radio station in Okotoks, Alberta, and I just went and they let me do a weather report.
Right in that suburb of Calgary. Wow. So tell us what you wanted to be when you grew up. Text 10400, standard message rates may apply. We'll show you a fine look at the city of Regina as you fill up your coffee cup. More of Your Morning Saskatchewan in 2 minutes.
Hello, everyone. Glenn Sheeler inside the TSN Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Tuesday. And for that, let's go to Italy. Why not? UEFA Champions League. Juventus taking on Sporting Lisbon. The cross comes in for Dusan Vlahovic, but he gets his head on it. But what a save by Rui Silva. Great reaction to get his hand on that to prevent the goal. Vlahovic would later score in the game to get his revenge, but the goalkeeper had him here to earn your must-see moment from Tuesday. Tonight on TSN, it's an NBA doubleheader. T-Wolves taking on the Knicks, followed by the Spurs and Lakers. It all begins with NBA Countdown. That's at 7 Eastern. That's all from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a great day.
With the weather turning and the holidays approaching, our Mike Siona has ventured north this morning. Let's see what he's up to. Mike?
Well, we are getting wrapped up for the holidays as only we can in Prince Albert with Sharon Fall of the Gateway Mall and Lyle Karasik of Parkland Ambulance among, the presenting sponsors of this wonderful, wonderful initiative. Sharon, let's start with you. Give us an overview of what exactly this initiative is.
Well, we just go out and ask the community to donate gently used items. We will be taking anything, blankets, toques, mitts, clothes, you name it. We we will gather it up at our different locations, and we will donate it in the new year to some very worthwhile organizations in the community.
Fantastic. I love that. Lyle, you've got a whole bunch of stuff here, but tell us where we can drop all of it off before we get into what you're accepting.
Well, absolutely. Thanks, Mike, for being with us. You're right. We've got this campaign kicking off. The big bin will unveil itself probably today or tomorrow or next day, coming soon at the Gateway Mall. And we've got drop-off locations at Parkland Ambulance, at Anderson Chrysler, and a new partner this year at Grace Funeral Chapel.
Fantastic. And we've got some examples here. Let's do a little show and tell. Lyle, you show it, and Sharon, you tell us. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, but we got what?
We have toques, we have coats, we have blankets, we can get scarves, like anything literally we will take. Anything to keep people warm, to keep animals warm, like we will take it. So if you're doing some fall cleaning, getting ready for Christmas, you got kids outgrowing stuff, you've got something that, you know, doesn't quite fit right anymore and it's still in decent shape, definitely drop it off at one of the locations, drop it off at Gateway Mall or any of our other partners. We will find a home for it.
I love that. Yeah, if you can wrap someone up in it, we want to be wrapped up for the holidays in it.
Let's take a look at that school day forecast now. It's brought to you by CAA, School Safety Patrol, working together to keep our school zones safe. If you're heading out to catch the bus in Regina or Saskatoon, it is a chilly start to the day. -8 in Regina, -10 in Saskatoon. We're not really expecting to be into those positive temperatures until the noon hour today, and that's when we jump up to 3 degrees for Regina and 1 degree for Saskatoon. 6 degrees by the final bell in Regina, 5 degrees by the final bell in Saskatoon, and both of those numbers are our expected daytime highs in each city. A few more clouds down towards the south, with winds in both cities coming up to about 25 kilometers per hour. As we go to break, here's a look at those gas prices in Regina. The common cost to fill up is $1.28.9. You may find regular fuel for as low as $1.05.9. In Saskatoon, the common cost this morning, $1.26.9. You might find the lowest at $1.17.9. Taking a look at the farm markets now, the street price of canola at $565.42 per ton, and the futures price at $626.40 per ton. Amber durum wheat at $285.94 per ton, and red spring wheat at $245.88 per ton. And the Canadian dollar begins the day trading down now at 70.97 cents US. We'll be back in about 2 minutes. Stay with us.
Welcome back to Your Morning at 6:31. The provincial government introducing legislation yesterday to enforce child support across jurisdictions. The province says the changes also give separated families an additional tool to help enforce child support orders when one of the parties lives outside of the province, including in other countries, through an international convention on family law and civil procedures, which includes 56 countries. In Canada, similar moves have already been made in Manitoba, Ontario, and BC. Regina fire investigators will be back at a home on Garnet Street this morning. Crews responded to the house fire on the 1300 block of Garnet Street about 11:30 last night. The house was fully involved when firefighters got there, but they quickly knocked it down. No injuries were reported. The fire now under investigation. A strong odor in the air in the city's north end was brought up at City Council in Saskatoon yesterday. Smell is hydrogen sulfide, and the city's director of water says the moisture required in the process of removing H2S from the Marquis water facility is taking a toll on the facility's equipment. To mitigate the issue, the city is only running the facility at night and monitoring the H2S sensors closely as they explore long-term solutions. While the gas can be harmful in large amounts, the city says they are closely monitoring the levels to ensure safety.
They need to be wetted. They need to be wet to work effectively. That water, when it reacts and the bugs remove the hydrogen sulfide, creates a sulfuric acid. And what's happening is it's corroding the equipment, I think, more than perhaps the design firm anticipated, and that's causing mechanical problems for us.
The estimated $1.4 million to fix the issue will be proposed in the city's budget, which is set to be announced on Thursday. City of Yorkton is about to adjust its water rates. According to the city, the move will help support daily operations, capital investments, and restore reserves through 2027. The current proposal applies a 4% increase to the water consumption and sewer discharge rates and a $5 per month base rate increase across residential and commercial classes. According to the information sheet provided by by the city. It means a monthly increase of about $6.95 for an average household.
One of our committees that looks at all the environmental stuff, there was 6 different proposals brought to them, and it went all the way up to like a 30% increase would get us to where we need to go quicker. And so as they went through all the different ones, this one was chosen as kind of the most equitable and the most palatable for people to be able to accept now.
City will vote on the proposed rates November 17th. 3 years ago, the city of Regina began moving towards the use of water meters, new ones, but one group of the residents say they've brought about several issues. The residents say the problems with the meters include incorrect readings, in some cases leading to higher water bills. The new meters are meant to be customer friendly, giving detailed water use in homes down to the hour, but the group hopes options can be made for those not wanting to use the meters.
Allow us an opt-out. Allow the people that have been coerced and bullied into getting the smart meter, allow them to go back to an analog. The analog can and will work simultaneously with the smart meters. We are not saying that everybody has to turn it off. We're asking for those that have genuine concerns, either address the concerns and put them to bed, or allow us an opt-out without punitive fines.
CTV News has reached out to the city of Regina and awaiting response. The city has previously said the new water meters are necessary due to the old ones aging and provide reliable and precise measurements for all water utility customers. It was a good night for the Democrats in the U.S. in the first election night since the last year's presidential vote.
The future is in our hands. My friends, we have toppled a political dynasty.
Zoran Mamdani beat former Governor Andrew Cuomo to win the race for mayor of New York City. Mamdani becomes the first Muslim and youngest person to lead the city in the U.S. He's 34 years young. He ran on an anti-Trump and anti-establishment campaign promising free child care, a rent freeze, and a corporate tax hike. Democrats are projected to win other key races as well. Voters in California have voted in favor of redrawing the state's electoral map. The measure is the Democrats' answer to redistributing the Republican-controlled states. That's been going on. In Virginia, Democrat Abigail Spanberger was voted in as governor. She becomes the first woman to lead the state. And the Democrats held on to the state of New Jersey's House, with Mikey Sherrill winning the race for governor. RCMP say a man has died at a BC ostrich farm where protesters have been opposing the proposed cull for now months. Officials say they were called in to investigate a sudden death around 7 a.m. local time after members of the police liaison team found an unresponsive man at the Universal Ostrich Farm. Investigators say there's nothing to suggest the man's death was suspicious. The Regina Pats showed a lot of heart in the first I Love Regina Day game.
Hamilton drives below the Calgary net. Down low, centered. Fawcett waits, backhander. Score!
Keats Fawcett's 10th of the year was the winner in overtime. The Pats beat the Calgary Hitmen 4-3. Nice comeback win for them. Let's get over to the Weather Center and talk about that game day forecast with Kayleen Sawatsky. Good morning.
Good morning. Well, the game day forecast is looking quite chilly. Definitely going to want to bundle up, including the hats and the mitts now, because we are going to be seeing some snow beforehand, not on game day likely, but on the Thursday and Friday days. That's when we could be seeing some flurries, so you are going to want to bundle up. -8 right now to wake us up in Regina. Clear skies for the time being. Some more clouds will be making their way in later on. -10 in Saskatoon, so definitely chilly this morning. We're not really expecting to be bumping up into those positive temperatures until about the noon hour in many places. Now, not seeing a lot on the afternoon futurecast today other than those clouds moving in, and then it is about this time you can see right on the border with Alberta we have that green patch there. That's going to be making its way into Saskatchewan, bringing with it some rain, snow, and the mixed precipitation, freezing rain in the middle. We also are not just getting it from Alberta. We're also getting it down from the United States there. You can see it's coming in from the south, going to be impacting areas down in southwest Saskatchewan, just south of Swift Current there, into early Thursday morning there, and then right over top of Regina into the late afternoon and overnight hours. Then we're going to continue on and talk talk about some more of that precipitation making its way down to Yorkton, right around the Parkland region, into Thursday late into the evening there. And then into Friday, we also see some more of that precipitation coming in through the southwest corner of the province yet again. And it's still going to be that mixed precipitation, still impacting us into those overnight hours. So a lot of precipitation on the way for the next few days. It's just not starting until the late and overnight hours tonight. Current temperatures now, we're seeing -7 in Buffalo Narrows, -5 in Nipawin, -4 in Hudson Bay, and -9 in Spiritwood, -6 in Swift Current, -8 in Regina, -6 in Estevan, and -5 in Yorkton. Now let's take a look at that almanac here. So the high today for Regina expected to be about 6 degrees, 5 degrees in Saskatoon. The average this time of year is about 3.7 for Regina and 2.5 for Saskatoon. Last year, Regina at 4 degrees and 3 degrees for Saskatoon. And the record back in the year 1975 was 23.3 in Regina, and 1949 was 18.9 in Saskatoon. 7-day forecast, we already talked about that precipitation on the way, but temperatures falling for game day. So -4 on Saturday. That's the peak about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Temperatures going to be falling even more for kickoff time at 5:30. -2 on Sunday in Regina. In Saskatoon, after we get over that snow on Thursday and Friday, we're talking about that high of -4 on Saturday afternoon and -2 on Sunday, with just a few clouds sticking around.
There continues to be plenty of reaction to Prime Minister Mark Carney's first ever federal budget. It includes $90 billion in net new spending over the next 5 years, with pro-business measures meant to increase productivity. Now, it also details a ballooning deficit projected to be $78.3 billion for 2025-26. However, there is very little in the budget aimed at the cost of living concerns for everyday Canadians. U.S. President Donald Trump's key tool for deploying tariffs will face a critical legal test in the Supreme Court south of the border today. In a post on social media, Trump called the hearing, quote, one of the most important in the history of the country. The top U.S. court will hear from states and businesses that argue Trump's use of a national security statute to hit nearly every nation with tariffs goes beyond the powers of the president. And Australia has added Reddit and Kik to its list of social media platforms that must ban children under the age of 16 from having accounts. The country's communications minister is saying today that the platforms will join others like Facebook and TikTok in enforcing the rule starting December 10th. Platforms failing to comply could face fines of up to $45 million Canadian. Those are your morning business headlines for BNN Bloomberg. I'm Matt Scooby.
The home cook leaving us today is Cindy.
And with that, the journey in the MasterChef Canada kitchen came to an end for Cindy Ward, and we're lucky enough to have a couple of minutes with her this morning from her home in Kitchener, Ontario. Cindy, thanks for doing this. I'm so sorry I'm speaking to you so quickly.
Oh, me too, Daryl, me too. I wanted to keep going.
Just how difficult was that challenge? Because if people didn't watch the episode last night, the quicker you got to the food, the more time you had to cook, but the longer you waited, the more ingredients you got.
Well, my strategy when we were first introduced to the challenge was to try to get more time. My strengths are creativity. And so I knew that if I had fewer ingredients, I could still make something work and something be delicious.
Okay, Cindy, one of the greatest things I saw last night was this quote that said, guys, we're talking about Cindy here. Whatever it is, I'm going to have a blast tasting it. When you watch that back and you hear that comment, what do you feel?
Well, I feel proud as heck. It's a long shot to be on MasterChef Canada in the first place, so it's a real honor. And having the chefs taste my food and enjoy it was tremendous. So that's something really valuable that I'm always going to take away. And that was Chef Craig Wong, and what a great guy.
What did we not see? There's a lot of production that goes into this. What do we not see? How difficult is it really?
Oh, it is a pressure cooker in there. So it's really difficult to describe. It's quite a challenge. It's probably one of the biggest challenges I've done in years and years and years. And I did a PhD and defended my thesis in front of a crowd of people. I'd put that on equal playing field.
Oh my goodness, wow. Why would you encourage somebody else to sign up and do this?
It's a rush of a lifetime. It's such an experience. For me, I've always dreamed of being on a cooking competition show. I watch them like a hawk. I know the techniques. I like French cooking style, but I bring a lot of creativity to the table. And I want to be in more and more cooking competitions. So, let's go. Chefs, get out there. Put your best foot forward. You can do it.
Here in Saskatchewan, we're, of course, cheering on Drake because he's from here in Regina, Saskatchewan. Just how cool is he to work with and work beside and see what he comes up with?
Oh, Dre's a wonderful, wonderful chef, and I just enjoyed meeting him, and we still talk. We're still friends to this day. Just love the guy, and so, a lot of those relationships from the show I bring home with me.
Very quickly, Cindy, what's next for you?
Well, I want to be on more cooking competitions. I want to be on Mary Berg's show. I want to go to culinary school, and a couple days a week I'm planning on volunteering at our local Food for Homeless.
Just too bad that you're so shy, Cindy. I'm sure. Thank you so much for spending a couple of minutes with us. And you at home can follow along in the MasterChef Canada journey every Tuesday night right here, 8 o'clock on CTV Saskatchewan.
All right, let's head out and check in with Janella Pye now, who is woolly excited. I didn't write that, and I regret saying it. Woolly excited to be with Regina's Angels for Warmth this morning. Janelle, good morning.
Hi, Jeremy. I loved that throw. That was fantastic. That is right. We've got some cute knitting items here to go through, and I've got Ruth Barlow with me. You are with Angels for Warmth. Now, tell me a little bit about this organization. You guys have some great stuff here beside us.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here, and CTV has always been very supportive of Angels. We've been meeting for 25 years now, and we meet once a month, and actually our meeting is today, this afternoon, and we've been turning out between 10 and 15,000 finished items of warmth for those in need in the city of Regina. And we are looking at our big event coming up next Wednesday, the 12th, when we put out 330 scarves in the park, 6-foot scarves out in Victoria Park, free for the taking for those that need a little extra warmth. And we're trying something a little different this year as well, in that we're putting out some children's sets over by the playground apparatus in case there's some of those needing them as well. But we have about 250 angels who volunteer their time. So one stitch at a time sort of thing. We create items of warmth, and we knit, we crochet, and we quilt. And a lot of the supplies are volunteer donated sort of thing. And there are, because we're now a registered charity, we also have charitable tax receipts available as well.
Fantastic, Ruth. Well, again, some great items here beside us. We are going to get more into these and what you all offer here. Coming up in the next hour, stay tuned. You won't want to miss it.
It's November 5th, and we have these milestones to share with you. We'll start off with a big happy birthday going out to Bill for his 95th birthday today. We hope it's the best one yet, with love from all of your family. Also celebrating a birthday today is Lola. Happy birthday to you. We hope you have a wonderful day. This coming with love from Lori and Eric. And turning 65 years old today is Kelly Bruce. Happy birthday to you. Your whole family sending you so much love with the message, have a day as wonderful as you are. How sweet. Enjoy. If you have a milestone coming up, send us an email to yourmorningsaskatchewan@ctv.ca or simply scan that QR code on your screen. Please make sure you send those in at least one day in advance.
Jonathan Bailey is People magazine's sexiest man alive. The British actor's big breakout role for American audiences was in the Netflix period drama Bridgerton. He also appeared in this summer's Jurassic World Rebirth and will reprise his role in Wicked for Good later this month. It's only only been a month since Katy Perry's world tour ended, but the pop star is already hinting at some new music. The woman's world singer posting a cryptic photo to social media of her face with bruises and scratches all over it, seemingly a reference to her upcoming single. No word on a release date.
Someone in this room knows more than they're telling us.
Helena Bonham Carter headlines a new Agatha Christie adaptation from Netflix called 7 Dials. It's a mystery about a practical joke that goes awry at a country house party. Martin Freeman also stars. Look for 7 Dials to debut on Netflix on January 15th. Happy birthday to Kris Jenner. The Keeping Up with the Kardashians mother and matriarch of the Kardashian-Jenner family turned 70 years old today. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. Melissa Adon, ABC News.
Chase, good morning. What's going on?
Well, we're jumping on the conversation of Tom Brady apparently cloning his dog, which was kind of a wild thing to break yesterday as he admitted to that. So I want to hear from you today. Would you clone a pet? If that was the option for you, I believe the price is $50,000 American to get it done. Would you do it if you had that cash? You can text over to 54321. Let me know if you would jump on that. Also, you know, if you're not into the cloning either, we have a great dog to feature today from the Regina Humane Society, and I really want to feature this guy coming up in the show too. So watch our socials for that and let us know. Would you clone a pet?
Time for Sidebar and a very active baby. Roro can barely walk, but shreds like a pro on the bike. Yeah, Roro. They mic'd him up for the ride. He can't stop babbling.
This is so cute. I guess I have to take Sadie biking.
I bought wireless mics for my iPhone so I can do this when Mateo plays soccer and hockey.
Oh, that's going to be good.
Oh, boy.
I think that'll be really, hopefully it'll be good.
Yeah. All right, well, here are a couple of chat bots that don't know how to stop talking.
The pleasure is mine. I'm always here whenever you need me. Just take care, and we'll chat soon.
Absolutely. Take care, and we'll chat again soon. Have a great one.
You too. Take care.
Looks like there's a glitch in the matrix. These two ChatGPT personalities kept going around in circles when trying to end a conversation on this call. I have to ask, have you two seen those videos of there's a girl on TikTok who asks ChatGPT, can you count to 1 million for me? And ChatGPT goes, that's a really hard one. I can do something else for you. And she goes, no, please count to 1 million. It's super funny.
I would like for you to count upwards of 1 million.
Aye.
Is your daughter in studio yet? Is she there?
She's here, yeah.
Take your kid to work day. Okay, is she going to play Morning Mystery and stuff with us?
Yeah, she'll be ready to go on after 7 o'clock.
Okay, all right. Very quickly, we'll show you one more video. If you're looking for something to brighten up these dark early days, here's a suggestion.
Stand up! Stand up!
This is Hennifer, an 8-foot-tall, custom-made disco ball sculpture.
Well, now I know what to do with that $1 million burning a hole in my pocket.
Christmas is coming.
Well, let's file this under dumb things people spend money on. Time out. We're back in just a couple of minutes.
Stand up! Stand up!
It's Wednesday, November 5th.
Every Canadian should feel that there's something for them.
To your government, what do you say?
Budget revealing a $78 billion deficit, highlighting new infrastructure investments and deep cuts to the public service.
I can see the dawn of a better day for humanity.
With Democrat victories from New York to California, voters have sent a message to U.S. President Donald Trump on election night.
Drives below the Calgary net. Down low, centered. Fawcett waits. Backhander.
Regina Pats show a lot of heart in the first I Love Regina Day game. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. welcome to Saskatchewan. Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl Rummel.
Welcome to Saskatchewan.
Yeah, welcome to Saskatchewan.
I'm Kayleen.
If you're visiting from outside, it's wonderful here. It's going to get colder, though.
It is going to get colder, but enjoy today. We're still above the seasonal average for today. Then tomorrow and Friday, we're going to talk about some flurries.
So Kian Schaefer-Baker came in and did some weather forecasting for us yesterday. You can find that on our website. And we asked him what kind of music he's playing, if he's doing the aux chord. Yesterday, apparently in the gym, full R&B.
Okay.
That's where he went.
That's a good one.
He said it could be anything, all over the map.
Maybe Kian can control our newsroom aux too.
Oh, yeah. That needs a vast improvement. All right, let's get over to our news for this part of the hour. We begin with the budget. Prime Minister Mark Carney's first budget is going big on capital spending, and it comes with a big deficit projected to hit $78 billion for the fiscal year.
If you invest in infrastructure, if you invest in housing, if you invest in productivity and competitiveness, that's the way to grow the economy.
Budget comes with nearly $90 billion in new spending over the next 5 years. The Liberals are promising $141 billion in new measures, which the government plans to offset with over $51 billion in savings. One of the biggest areas of spending is $81.8 billion over 5 years on national defense that will allow Canada to reach its NATO commitment of 2% of GDP. The government has also earmarked $51 billion over the next decade for new infrastructure projects. Major cuts are looming as the federal government looks to find $60 billion in savings, and the public service cuts are on top of the list.
In a word, it's bad. It's bad for Canadians. When Mark Carney and the Liberals ran, they talked about caps, not cuts. What happened to that?
The government plans to cut 16,000 jobs in hopes early retirements, attrition, and voluntary leaves will shed another 12,000 positions for a total of 28,000 job cuts by 2029. The government plans to save another $22 billion through other cuts over 4 years, including $4.4 billion by dropping the price the government reimburses for medical cannabis benefits and RCMP and veterans, as well as $2.7 billion in foreign aid cuts.
We Conservatives cannot support this costly Liberal budget.
After having met with our caucus tonight, we could vote in favor of this budget.
We're going to talk to Canadians, particularly working Canadians, and review this budget.
The Conservatives and Bloc have already said they won't support the budget. The NDP is so far leaving the door open. The minority Liberals are now just 2 seats shy of a majority after Nova Scotia MP Chris Detremont decided to cross the floor.
It's disappointing that Chris D'Entremont has decided that he doesn't want to fight for a more affordable life for Canadians, that he doesn't want to fight inflationary deficits that are driving up grocery prices in his riding.
Chris D'Entremont was voted into the House in 2019, won his riding by 1.1% in the last federal election. A weekend death in Regina is now a homicide investigation. It's Regina's 10th homicide of the year, happened at a home on the 1000 block of 12th Avenue. Police say a man was shot. His name is not being made public at the request of the family. We do know he was 19 years old. The investigation is ongoing. The man charged in the Highway 39 shooting death of a woman near Weyburn will be back in court Thursday for a bail hearing. Chris Fallman is charged with 1 count of manslaughter and other gun-related charges in the death of Tanya Myers on September 12th. That bail hearing set for Thursday, 2 p.m. Tamara Leach is appealing a mischief conviction for her role in the Freedom Convoy that paralyzed downtown Ottawa in early 2022. Leach and fellow organizer Chris Barber were found guilty of mischief back in April for their roles in the mass demonstration. Lawyers for Leach say she encouraged protesters to be peaceful, lawful, and safe, and there was no evidence linking her to misdeeds of others. Jeremy, a Saskatoon man looking to address safety concerns at a certain intersection. Which one, and what's he saying?
Well, Daryl, he's thankful to be alive, and he wants changes to this highway intersection after a traffic collision happened on Thanksgiving weekend. Laurentius Givelishin headed south on Highway 11 near the Grasswoods Esso when he was hit by an SUV traveling east. First responders told him his vehicle wound up on its roof, and you can see it here. He doesn't remember the impact. He says safety improvements like an overpass are needed, so he has started a petition.
I will do everything possible in my power to change the safety regulation on this intersection, whatever it takes, and I'm going to ask the public to help me in this endeavor, because it's not only for today, for us, it's also for tomorrow, for our children.
Givelichin works as a pediatric intensive care doctor, so he treats children who've been involved in crashes. He wants to use his voice to advocate for improvements to this intersection. A strong odor in the air in the city's north end was brought up at Saskatoon City Council's meeting yesterday. The smell is hydrogen sulfide, and the city's director of water says the moisture required in the process of removing the H2S from the Marquis Waste Facility is taking a toll on the facility's equipment. So to mitigate this issue, the city's only running the facility at night and monitoring the H2S sensors closely as they explore long-term solutions. Now, the gas can be harmful in large amounts, but the city says they're closely monitoring the levels to ensure resident safety.
They need to be wetted. They need to be wet to work effectively. That water, when it reacts and the bugs remove the hydrogen sulfide, creates a sulfuric acid. And what's happening is it's corroding the equipment, I think, more than perhaps the design firm anticipated, and that's causing mechanical problems for us.
The estimated $1.4 million it would cost to fix the issue will be proposed in the city budget, which is set to be announced tomorrow. Well, Daryl, a new UN report raises the alarm over greenhouse gas emissions.
According to the United Nations data, global greenhouse gas emissions hit a record high in 2024. The report shows a 2.3% rise from 2023 levels driven by India, China, Russia, and Indonesia. The UN says the numbers are nowhere close to avoiding devastating climate impacts, despite a sweep of new pledges. The report was published just days before world leaders gather in Brazil ahead of the COP30 summit on climate. Newfoundland and Labrador feeling the full force of a weather bomb this morning, with the mayor of the town of Trepassey saying the intense storm doesn't prove too much for the already damaged seawall that protects the South Shore community.
If the road gives way and we lose our infrastructure, we're left with nothing on the lower coast. We're in the dark, we have no water, so it's going to be an emergency situation.
Mayor Wanda Waddleton says the seawall was damaged in a storm last year, and she fears it will be no match for this storm. Peak wind gusts have topped 160 kilometers per hour in the area. 2 families have already been told to evacuate Newfoundland. Power is also reporting more than 9 than 4,000 outages across the province this morning, blamed on severe weather conditions. Saskatchewan Roughriders getting ready for the BC Lions, but they may be without one of their top receivers. Let's take a look at the video here. Keyshawn Johnson was not at practice yesterday. There is some good news. Dante Myers was taking full reps yesterday. He missed the final 3 weeks of the season with an ankle injury.
We got some weapons back. You know, you guys, you've seen Shafe, you've seen Sam. You guys got to know me and Keyshawn this year, you know, so it's gonna be real exciting. It's gonna be a nice show for Mosaic. It's gonna be a nice show for Riderville.
We've seen it all year, man. There's in that entire room, there's a ton. You know, Dante's definitely made a bunch of plays. You know, for Trev, whatever guys we throw out there, you know, he's gonna make it work.
Early kickoff on Saturday. Let's get over to the Weather Center with Kayleen Sawatsky and find out what it's going to be like this weekend.
Well, may I suggest a hat and some gloves to go with that jacket that you're going to be wearing to the game. It's going to be a chilly one. Chilly to start the day as well. -7 right now in Regina. Sun not going to be up for about another hour or so here, but when we do see that sun come up, we are going to be seeing a few clouds with it as well. Winds, though, very calm to start the day. -8 right now in Saskatoon. Again, seeing some of those clouds. Now, the futurecast showing how those clouds are going to be making their way in as we continue on throughout the afternoon. We also have some weather systems going to be making their way in from different areas. So from Alberta, we're seeing that rain, but it's going to transform into that snow overnight, going to be impacting Saskatoon. So definitely not the evening to be hitting those roads. We also have some precipitation making its way up from the United States, entering that southwest corner there, bringing some rain throughout the very early morning hours tomorrow to areas just south of Swift Current. current, and then it's going to be tracking eastward, heading right over top of Regina tomorrow afternoon, and then down through that southeast corner as well around Estevan area. And then we see that snow from the central zone tracking down towards the south, impacting areas around Yorkton and the Parkland region there. And then into Friday, we'll also be seeing some more of those flurries, and that's also going to be impacting areas in the central and southern zones. Current temperatures showing La Ronge at -3 in South End as well, -4 to start the day in Hudson Bay, and -7 in Melfort, -10 in the Battlefords, definitely cooler through there, -4 in East End, -7 in Assiniboia, and -6 to start the day in Estevan. Now here's a look at the forecast for Saskatchewan. 4 degrees later on this afternoon for Battlefords, 5 degrees in Yorkton, in Weyburn up to about 7 degrees later on, and Swift Current up to 8 degrees. And here's how that compares to areas across the western part of Canada today. Vancouver getting some rain up to 12 degrees. So the prairies definitely feeling cooler. Winnipeg only up to about 4 degrees today with that mix of sun and cloud. Calgary up to 5 degrees with that cloud cover today. Here's a look at your 5-day forecast. So we mentioned rain on the way tomorrow, snow on the way for Friday in Regina, and then Saturday and Sunday we will see things clearing up with the precipitation, but getting cooler for game day. So -4 as the peak in the afternoon, feeling colder for that 5:30 start of the game. And then in Saskatoon, seeing temperatures also drop to -4 on Saturday with that mix of sun and cloud, -12 overnight, and then getting up to -2 on Sunday afternoon. Let's take a look at this rural forecast. Not too many clouds to start the day this morning, but we are going to be seeing some more making their way over top of Saskatchewan this afternoon. With that mix of sun and clouds, watchers will reach that high of 5 degrees. Outlook up to 7 degrees. Kindersley up to about 7 degrees as well. Warmer through Maple Creek this afternoon, a high of 10 degrees, 8 degrees for Assiniboia, and 6 degrees for Broadview with that mix of sun and cloud. Now let's take a look at Hague, where internet plans up to 1 gig are available from SaskTel. Sun and clouds throughout the afternoon. East winds coming in between 15 and 30 kilometers per hour, and the high today 4 degrees.
All right, let's head back out to Mike Siona now, who is helping to launch an immunity campaign that's been running for nearly 2 decades. Mike.
Well, we're in Prince Albert and coming at you from Parkland Ambulance, who's one of the 4 presenting sponsors of Wrapped Up for the Holidays. Lyle Karasek and also Sharon Fall from the Gateway Mall. Lyle, let's start with you because obviously we're collecting stuff to wrap up, to keep people warm during this holiday season. How big is the need?
The need is always there, Mike. It's huge. Whether it's stuff for children or stuff for adults, whether it's boots or coats or mittens or scarves, blankets, you name it, we want it. We want it clean, gently used. But, you know, honestly, folks are going to go out shopping and they're busy with Christmas shopping, and you want to buy something that you see on sale, we'll take that too. We're not picky in any way.
Fantastic. I love that. And that's really cool. Actually, one of my favorite things is when we're at the mall and we get to see the big bin, because that's really kind of encapsulates the magic of this whole campaign, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It's highly visible out in the hallway and very convenient. The mall's conveniently located, open a lot of hours for people to easily come on down, drop off their stuff, and donate to so many different organizations who are in great need in our community.
No doubt. Now, I know Lyle mentioned that we want the stuff that has been gently used before to be clean and ensure that. But what a great idea to just go to the Gateway Mall and buy something and donate something brand new.
Absolutely. There's always lots of retailers who have great clearance sales, and they need to reduce their inventory because they got more stuff coming in. So, it's a great idea to support the local shops and organizations in our community by doing things like that.
I love that. And Lyle, last word to you. Better be quick, by the way. Wrapped Up for the Holidays. Who are you supporting this year?
Well, we're going to support the Salvation Army and our good friends also at the YWCA. And as Sharon said earlier in the clip, if you have some stuff and it's for pets, we'll take that too. Mainly blankets, because if it's ratted or torn, we'll send it off to the SPCA and they can use it too.
Absolutely. You can drop it off at Anderson's. You can drop it off at Gray's Funeral, at Parkland Ambulance, or at the Gateway Mall. And of course, we're happy to be a part of it at CTV as well.
All right, we have a special guest. It is Take Your Kid to Work Day. Jeremy, the introduction, if you could.
This is my daughter, Allison. Allison, say good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Saskatchewan.
Good
She's
morning,
here.
Allison.
I'm thrilled.
Are you excited? Are you excited to go with Why did you pick Dad over Mom's job?
Because he gets off work earlier.
It's true.
That's a good
I think it's mostly because she thinks her dad has way more Riz and is way more Sigma than Mom, right? That's how you guys talk, right?
That is,
No.
That is
No.
6-7 or something. Ever wonder what your kid says during sports? Take a look at this.
Here comes your Iowa Senators. Canada, please stand on guard for the go Iowa. Next Iowa.
You know what Mateo would say when and I'm going to put the mic on him probably this weekend. He's going to say things like, "Can we go for Timbits after this?"
Yeah, what about some chicken McNuggets?
What's in my snack bag? He loves the snack bag after hockey.
I'm looking forward to seeing that.
That is one of the best parts. Allison, what do you think? Pretty talented little kid. Hey, he's only 3.
He's pretty skater, in my opinion.
Okay.
Skater.
You know, you skated.
That is
did.
true.
Yeah.
What do you want to be when you grow up, Allison?
I was thinking maybe a lawyer.
Yeah, she's a really good arguer.
All right. That is our question of the day. We put that out to our viewers. What did you want to be when you grew up? Because it is Take Your Kid to Work Day. What do we got on the big board over there?
Just a couple answers to start us off. So one answer said, a chef. I am now an accountant.
Okay.
So went in a different direction there. Howard on our text line saying, I always wanted to be a truck driver, but wound up working as an electrician for 30 years in Calgary. Makes me wonder if we ever crossed paths back then, Howard. Not that I'm in the electrical scene.
At least he's, at least,
going to say.
Every once in a while you are shocking. He at least was home every night. Right?
Yes, yeah.
Stays on the road.
All right, so we want to hear from you, though. Text your name and your answer to 10400. Standard message rates may apply, or scan that QR code on your screen. We're going to be sharing some more answers in about 1 hour.
Hello, everyone. Glenn Sheeler inside the TSN Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Tuesday. And for that, let's go to Italy. Why not? UEFA Champions League. Juventus taking on Sporting Lisbon. The cross comes in for Dusan Vlahovic, but he gets his head on it. But what a save by Rui Silva. Great reaction to get his hand on that to prevent the goal. Vlahovic would later score in the game to get his revenge, but the goalkeeper had him here to earn your must-see moment from Tuesday. Tonight on TSN, it's an NBA doubleheader. T-Wolves taking on the Knicks, followed by the Spurs and Lakers. It all begins with NBA Countdown. That's at 7 Eastern. That's all from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a great day.
There continues to be plenty of reaction to Prime Minister Mark Carney's first ever federal budget. It includes $90 billion in net new spending over the next 5 years with pro-business measures meant to increase productivity. Now, it also details a ballooning deficit projected to be $78.3 billion for 2025-26. However, there is very little in the budget aimed at the cost of living concerns for everyday Canadians. U.S. President Donald Trump's key tool for deploying tariffs will face a critical legal test in the Supreme Court south of the border today. In a post on social media, Trump called the hearing, quote, one of the most important in the history of the country. The top U.S. court will hear from states and businesses that argue Trump's use of a national security statute to hit nearly every nation with tariffs goes beyond the powers of the president. And Australia has added Reddit and Kik to its list of social media platforms that must ban children under the age of 16 from having accounts. The country's communications minister is saying today that the platforms will join others like Facebook and TikTok in enforcing the rule starting December 10th. Platforms failing to comply could face fines of up to $45 million Canadian. Those are your morning business headlines for BNN Bloomberg. I'm Matt Scooby.
it is time for our morning mystery, Allison. We're going to get 3 clues. Today it is a thing. If once you think you know it, you write it down on your fancy whiteboard you've been provided. Okay, first clue is it affects sound. Clue number 2 this morning.
Sound.
It isn't actually white, but rather translucent. Okay, clue number 3. Creator of the compound interest science blog, Andy Brunning, has cataloged 35 different types of the flake.
Oh. Okay, what's white and in flake form?
And translucent.
What do you think?
I don't know. Wait.
Well, take your
How about this?
Take your best guess.
Yeah, that's a good guess, dude.
That's a good guess, dude. She says, is it snow? Director Corey says it is snow. Freshly fallen snow absorbs sound waves, giving everything a seemingly quieter ambience. If snow melts and refreezes, the ice can reflect sound waves, making sound travel further and clearer. So we also get a fun fact. Look at that. She is 1 for 1, cool. Allison Dodge, in our morning mystery.
Perfect record.
Studio consideration provided by Father's Furniture, specializing in quality Canadian-made furniture.
Let's take a look at that school day forecast now. If you're heading out to grab the bus in Regina, we're at -7, -8 in Saskatoon, 3 degrees by lunch in Regina, 1 degree by lunch in Saskatoon, and then 6 degrees by Final Bell in Regina and 5 degrees by Final Bell in Saskatoon, with winds coming in up to about 25 kilometers per hour. As we go to break, here's a look at those gas prices in Regina. The common cost to fill up is $128.9. You can find the lowest at $105.9. In Saskatoon, $126.9 is the common price this morning. You might find the lowest at $117.9. Let's take a look at those farm markets now. The street price of canola at $565.42 per ton, and the futures price at $626.40 per ton. In the Amber Durum wheat at $285.94 per ton this morning, and Red Spring wheat at $245.88 per ton. And the Canadian dollar begins the day trading down, currently sitting at 70.97 cents U.S. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Back to your morning. It is 7:30. The provincial government has introduced legislation to enforce child support across jurisdictions. The province says the changes also give separated families an additional tool to help enforce child support orders when one of the parties lives outside of Saskatchewan, including in other countries, through an international convention on family law and civil procedures, which includes 56 countries. In Canada, similar moves have already been made in Manitoba, Ontario, and BC. Saskatchewan is updating its defamation laws, replacing a law that's been in place since 1909. The Defamation Act replaces the former Libel and Slander Act, which simplified and modernized rules to accommodate for new technology and ways of sharing information. Libel and slander are both considered defamation for any written or spoken statements that harms someone's reputation. The changes include the removal of the wording that refers specifically to newspapers, opening the door and empowering the court to make takedown orders when harmful online content circulates after initial publication. Turning now to an ongoing human trafficking trial in Rosetown. The second of the 2 men accused in the case took the stand yesterday, denying allegations that they exploited a woman from Bangladesh. Stacey Hine reports.
43-year-old Mohammed Massoum is on trial alongside co-accused Sohel Haider. In 2023, RCMP charged the men with human trafficking a Bangladeshi woman to work at restaurants in Gull Lake, Tisdale, and Elrose. Massoum also faces sexual assault charges. Earlier in the trial, the woman, who cannot be named because of a publication ban, testified she agreed to work at Massoum's restaurant for $1,000 a month. She said she was scheduled for 10-hour shifts 5 days a week, but often worked longer hours. The woman testified that one day, while they were alone in the restaurant, Massoum followed her into the cooler, hugged her from behind, and kissed her neck and shoulders. She said the next day, he took her for a drive, and then she said he sexually assaulted her. On the stand, Massoum testified he did not touch her and disputed the woman's account of the cooler incident, saying it was too small for two people to fit inside. He testified he never paid the woman because he said she was not employed at the restaurant. Massoum said Hyder asked him to let the woman stay with his family for a few months. He told court she initially lived in his Tisdale apartment before moving into another unit he rented across the hall. He said he gave her $1,000 at Hyder's request and said he later learned it was meant to help with immigration fees. Massoum has yet to be cross-examined. The trial continues Thursday. Stacey Hine, CTV News, Rosetown.
The so-called Queen of Canada will be back in court today. Romana Didelot will be back in a courtroom. She was released on conditions. The owner of the now decommissioned Richmond School, Richard Mans, will also be in court today. RCMP conducted a raid on the compound in early September. Only Mans and Didelot were charged. The SHA said their compound was unsafe to live in and did order it closed. Both Didelot and Mans are facing a number of charges. The issue of a smell in Saskatoon's North End was raised at City Council Tuesday, with both residents and city officials agreeing it needs to be fixed. Hallie Mandrick with what can be done.
An odor in Saskatoon's Silverwood Heights neighborhood has one business owner calling for action from City Council.
Well, when customers do come, you get a whiff of this, and it's like rotten eggs, and it's from the city's own sewer. It never was there until they built this facility. It needs to be moved. It needs to put some pipe in the ground, move it somewhere else.
That smell Hannonson is referring to is hydrogen sulfide, also known as H2S, from the city's Marquis Waste Facility. The city's director of water says the moisture required in the process of removing H2S is taking a toll on the facility's equipment.
They need to be wetted. They need to be wet to work effectively. That water, when it reacts and the bugs remove the hydrogen sulfide, creates a sulfuric acid. And what's happening is it's corroding the equipment, I think, more than perhaps the design firm anticipated, and that's causing mechanical problems for us.
Monroe says to mitigate the issue, the city is only running the facility at night and monitoring the HS2 sensors closely while it explores long-term solutions such as moving the facility above grade to allow for drainage into wastewater.
Wastewater has natural alkalinity that can help absorb some of that acid. So we're looking at some designs that would solve that sort of root issue because as those pumps fail in the bottom, water builds up, plugs and filters, the whole system doesn't work.
The estimated $1.4 million to fix this issue will be proposed in the upcoming city budget, but Hannonson says the issue requires a more immediate solution.
It is relevant. And the city knows, and they've been very polite in saying this, but this is going to take, if the city admits 2 to 3 years, you know it's going to take 5 to 10. And it should be addressed a lot faster.
Monroe says people can detect the odor at a very low level, and while the gas can cause harm in large amounts, the city is keeping a close eye on things.
We're 24/7 by the control room at the wastewater treatment plant, and we will alarm at 10 parts per million. It won't be hazardous to health until about 100 parts per million, and we have procedures in place. There's also ventilation in there. It goes out of a ventilation stack. Not ideal, but it does dilute it down to safe levels.
Hallie Mandrick, CTV News, Saskatoon.
City of Saskatoon says efforts are being made to make public transit safer, and they're working. The city report outlines what they call negative interactions on transit buses, including assaults, harassment, intoxication, exposure to bodily fluids, and passenger carrying weapons. The report says these incidents have been trending down in recent months thanks to efforts by community support workers, police, commissionaires, and Saskatoon Transit. Democrats in the U.S. scoring major wins in the U.S. elections last night.
So Donald Trump, since I know you're watching, I have 4 words for you. Turn the volume up.
Mamdani took a direct aim at Donald Trump during an acceptance speech. He won for New York City mayor. The Democrats swept a trio of races that were the first test for Trump since he returned to power 9 months ago. The U.S. government shutdown has become the longest in history today as the deadlock between Democrats and Republicans continues into its 36th day. It's unclear how long the shutdown will last amid mounting pressure from many Americans not getting food stamp benefits needed to feed their families and roughly 1.4 federal employees employees haven't been paid despite many still working. Fears over the risk of battery fires prompted Chrysler to recall more than 375,000 Jeep plug-in hybrids, including nearly 21,000 here in Canada. The Canadian recall impacts Jeep Grand Cherokee models from 2022 to 2025 and Jeep Wranglers from 21 to 25. Chrysler, which is owned by Netherlands-based Stellantis, says an internal investigation revealed 19 fires and is urging owners to park outdoors until the fix is completed. The Regina Pats showed a lot of heart in the first I Love Regina Day game.
Hamilton drives below the Calgary net. Down low, centered. Fawcett waits, backhander, score!
Keats Fawcett's 10th of the year was the winner in overtime. The Pats beat the Calgary Hitmen 4-3. Let's get over to the Weather Center. Kayleen Sawatsky, we talked about snow in our morning mystery. Is there any in the horizon on the forecast?
There sure is, Daryl. That system entering the province during the late overnight hours tonight. And then we're really going to see it into tomorrow afternoon, mainly starting in the central zone and then making its way down towards the south for Friday. Saturday, though, we know that's game day. We're not expecting any more of that precipitation, just cooler temperatures for that day. -7 right now in Regina. We do have a mix of sun and clouds now that the sun is starting to make its way up. A little bit darker still in Saskatoon. -8 is where we're sitting. Calm winds and a mix of sun and clouds when that sun finally does make its way up. Now, we talked about that precipitation that's going to be making its way in overnight. So this is at about 7 p.m. tonight. As you can see, it's still mostly over in Alberta. But then as we make our way later on into the evening, we see it turn into snow as temperatures drop. And then it's going to be right over top of Saskatoon around 1:15 a.m. So your commute tomorrow may be a little bit more tricky than what your commute is going to look like today with those dry roads. Into the later parts of the morning tomorrow, we do see some more of that rain making its way up from the United States, impacting areas just south of Swift Current there, as you can see, and then heading right over top of Regina into the later parts of the afternoon. Now, this on your screen is about 4:30 p.m. tomorrow. So as you can see, we're really seeing it all. A lot of that snowfall around Saskatoon, Prince Albert, down through the Parkland region, and then some more of those green colors, that rain falling near Swift Current, Regina, and then down through Estevan. Continuing on into the overnight hours, it seems as though it's going to start pushing away, but then a larger system does make its way back in for Friday as well. So we're not clear from that snow falling until Saturday. -7 in Buffalo Narrows now, -3 in La Ronge, -4 to wake us up in Hudson Bay, and -3 in South End, -8 in Moose Jaw, cooler through the Battlefords, -10 right now, and -4 in East End to start the day. Let's take a look at how today's highs are going to compare, though, when we take a look at this almanac. So the high for Regina today, about 6 degrees, 5 degrees expected for Saskatoon this afternoon. The average this time of year is about 3.7 degrees for Regina, so we are above that. 2.5 is the average for Saskatoon, so again, about double today. Last year, 4 degrees for Regina, 3 degrees in Saskatoon, and the record was back in 1975 for Regina and 1949 for Saskatoon. Comparing to those temperatures across the province, though, this afternoon, we're seeing about 8 degrees for Swift Current, 5 degrees for Yorkton, and 3 degrees for Prince Albert. So again, temperatures really across the board still slightly above that seasonal average.
Wardrobe consideration by Colin O'Brien Man's Shop, defining contemporary style for over 20 years.
Welcome back to Your Morning. The Regina Police Service reminding you to pay attention to that Halloween candy. Police say they now have 3 incidents that were reported at different ends of the city, which leads them to believe that it may be a manufacturing issue rather than a targeted attack.
I don't want people to panic. I just want parents to be diligent in checking the candy, letting their kids know, hey, make sure you're, taking a look at your candy before you're opening these chocolate bars. In these instances, it's been just chocolate bars, and so just being sure that we're taking a look at those, inspecting the wrappers. In a couple of the instances, there was like a hole in the wrapper that indicated that something was awry.
Say no one was injured in any of the incidents, and the investigation is ongoing. City of Yorkton is about to adjust water rates. According to the city, that move will help support daily operations, capital investments, and restore reserves through 2027. The current proposal applies a 4% increase to water consumption and sewer discharge rates and a $5 per month base rate increase across residential and commercial properties. Now, that according to the information sheet that was provided by the city, it means the monthly increase for a typical household is about $6.95.
One of our committees that looks at all the environmental stuff, there was 6 different proposals brought to them, and it went all the way up to like a 30% increase would get us to where we need to go quicker. And so as they went through all the different ones, this one was chosen as kind of the most equitable and the most palatable for people to be able to accept now.
City will vote on the proposed rates November 17th. Creative Options Regina getting a donation from the city's India Night fundraiser. Cultural Connections raised $200,000 for the COR, which will support inclusive, recreational, creative, and literacy programs. This year's total marks the highest amount ever raised at the fundraiser, and since the first India Night in 2017, Cultural Connections has raised more than $1 million for community charities.
Opportunities to receive $200,000 is so incredible because it not only puts a boost in the momentum of our team, but also ensures sustainability of these programs for years to come.
2026 India Night fundraiser recipient will be Creative Kids Saskatchewan. A brand new mural has been unveiled at First Nations University of Canada. The new mixed media art installation showcases the history and spirit of the First Nations University of Canada. The mural has been a legacy project months in the making.
It's student storytelling, and the strength that they have, hearing what this place means to them and how it's transformed their life, and having that expressed again through song and dance and poetry and through visual art is just simply incredible for me. It's overwhelming.
The mural was made possible through the MasterCard Foundation's ELEV program. Here's what's happening in our community. The Art Guild Show and Sale happens November 6th through 8th. Starts at 10 in the morning. Saskatchewan Research and Technology Park. That's 10 Research Drive. AuroraArtGuild.com for more. Let's Dance Regina Social Club. Friday, November 7th at 7:30 p.m. at 2134 Winnipeg Street. That's the Regina Senior Center. Call 306-331-7290. The Old Time Dance Club happens that same night, 7:30. Rival Dance Clubs. Cecilia's Banquet Hall. This one's out in Weyburn. 306-861-9929. Jingle for the Park Trade and Craft Sale. Just in time for Christmas. Saturday, November 8th, 11 a.m. Heritage United Church. That's 1050 North Arneson Street. 306-529-2850. If you'd like your event shown here, email us, reginacommunity@bellmedia.ca, but please do so at least 2 weeks in advance.
Bada bing, bada string. Let's head back over to Regina's Angel for warmth and check in with Janella Pye.
All right, good morning. We are back to talk a little bit more about Angels for Warmth here. I've got Ruth Barlow back with me. Now, Ruth, you guys have a ton of beautiful items here that a lot of thought and care have gone into. What exactly do you all offer for outdoor apparel?
Outdoor apparel is primarily hats, mitts, and scarves, that kind of thing, and nothing is sold, but we do a lot of quilts and lap robes and that kind of thing because we do care homes and seniors' homes as well. We have some major donor recipients, and they apply for the process, and it's keeping people warm. is where we're aiming. And of course, hats, mitts, and scarves are the biggest in demand through the winter months. And our Angels, about 250, as I said, do provide as many items as they can, knitting of their choice, just with need for knowing that the need varies a little through the winter months sort of thing. We do a lot of children's things. And as I said, our big promo right now will be the scarves in the park on the 12th. And at 11 a.m., we'll be tying 330 scarves and putting out about 35 or 40 sets of children's hats, mitts, and scarves as well. And this is an annual thing, and we've done probably 2,500 scarves in the last 11 years.
Incredible. Okay, and today is actually the monthly meeting.
We meet at 1 o'clock today at Holy Trinity at Sherwood and McIntosh, and we meet the first Wednesday of the month, each month, and at that time people drop in, drop their finished product off, and pick up supplies for the next month's projects, and then everything is counted and sorted and distributed to our approved donor recipients.
Fantastic, Ruth. Thank you so much. We are going to be back one more time in the next hour. We'll tell you a little bit about how you can become a volunteer if you're interested.
It's November 5th, and we have these milestones to share with you. We'll start off with a big happy birthday going out to Bill for his 95th birthday today. We hope it's the best one yet, with love from all of your family. Also celebrating a birthday today is Lola. Happy birthday to you. We hope you have a wonderful day. This coming with love from Lori and Eric. And turning 65 years old today is Kelly Bruce. Happy birthday to you. Your whole family sending you so much love with the message, have a day as wonderful as you are. How sweet. Enjoy. If you have a milestone coming up, send us an email to yourmorningsaskatchewan@ctv.ca or simply scan that QR code on your screen. Please make sure you send those in at least one day in advance.
What's going on the radio dial today, Chase?
We got our Country Minute coming up after 8 o'clock. We got some news to share with Luke Combs and his wife Nicole with baby number 3. Why one group wants to cancel Wheel of Fortune. What the long-running game show has done to wrong them so much so that they have started a petition. And finally, we'll ask the question, does coffee make you a better or worse driver? They have put the research together. We'll give you that answer on the way. And that might determine when you are pouring that cup in the morning.
Oh boy, you're going to start a fight this morning. Thank you so much for this.
Thanks, Gerald. See you tomorrow.
Work hard and make them happy at home, and that's all I wanted out of it.
He's been doing that for 35 years, and AARP has noticed. Adam Sandler is this year's Career Achievement honoree at the Movies for Grown-Ups Awards with AARP. He'll be honored at the annual ceremony January 10th in Beverly Hills.
I was looking for the right way to say it, and you just came right out and said it.
The Gotham Awards are saying it. Kate Hudson and Hugh Jackman capture Neil Diamond's music in Song Sung Blue. They're set to receive the inaugural Gotham musical tribute at the 35th annual Gotham Film Awards ceremony December 1st in New York. The film opens in theaters December 25th.
I am so proud that she and her family are our family. And I am so proud to say to you that Marlee Matlin is going to receive this award. Marlee?
Marlee Matlin received the inaugural Icon Award at this year's Media Access Awards, which honor disability inclusion in front of and behind the camera. Matlin's longtime friend Henry Winkler presented the trophy. The 2025 Media Access Awards with Easter Seals premieres tonight on the PBS app and on PBS stations across the U.S. November 15th. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Looking for something to brighten up these dark and early nights, here's a suggestion.
Stand up! Stand up!
This is Hennifer.
I need Allison Dodge's take on Hennifer.
Yeah.
That's what
What do you think of Hennifer?
Allison, what do you think? What do you think of Hennifer? She doesn't have her mic on right now. Cool? Cute, she says.
Into
okay,
it. Okay.
We're into it.
All right, maybe we're too old.
Yeah, this Queen of the Coop is handcrafted. Covered head to toe in hundreds of thousands of mirrored tiles, glittering golden legs.
Yep.
You too could have this dramatic diva for a cool $26,000.
That's okay.
Oh,
man. Roughly what JD
Maybe
makes.
Santa will bring it for you, Allison.
Yeah, there you go.
DIY it maybe for a little bit less than that.
Oh, okay, look at this cool baby. Check out this cool baby here.
Oh, look at this, Mom.
Ro-Ro, that's his name for this little walk. Little bike through the park.
Ro-Ro. How sweet is that?
Loving it. All into it.
Babble, babble.
That's safe.
That's fine.
At least he's wearing a helmet.
He's wearing a helmet. Yeah, JD,
Yeah.
what's up?
All right, a couple of chat bots now. They just don't know how to stop talking.
The pleasure is mine. I'm always here whenever you need me. Just take care and we'll chat soon.
Absolutely. Take care and we'll chat again soon. Have a great one.
You too. Take care and talk.
No, you hang up. No, you hang up. No, you hang up.
I miss you, Mark.
We've all
Little
been there.
glitch in the matrix there.
At least when we were doing that, it was real people.
What a sweet Chat GPT couple.
I guess so. Use Chat GPT for productive things like choose your own adventure stories for your kids at bedtime. There's your life hack for today. Time out. We're back in a minute. It's Wednesday, November 5th.
Every Canadian should feel that there's something for them.
The federal budget revealing a $78 billion deficit, highlighting new infrastructure investments and deep cuts to public service.
It's definitely the next major leap in advancement in surgery.
Regina's Pasqua Hospital now home to a new piece of technology helping perform surgeries.
You know, for Trev, whatever guys we throw out there, you know, he's going to make it work.
The Riders roster coming together for the CFL West Finals. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl.
And I'm Kayleen. Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday indeed. If you brought your daughter to work, what would she do the whole time?
She would be running around, and also she would going up, up,
Yeah.
up. The whole time I'm trying to do weather up.
Mateo would just be interrupting us. Guys, I have something to say right now.
Okay, say it.
Allison's doing a much better job than our kids would have been doing. Allison Dodge is in our studio in Saskatoon this morning with Jeremy. It's Take Your Kid to Work Day. Let's get to work to talk about the budget in news. Prime Minister Mark Carney's first federal budget comes with nearly $90 billion in new spending, which contains a deficit nearly twice the size forecast by the Liberals a year ago. For more of a breakdown, here's CTV's Mike Lucatour.
Every Canadian should feel that there's something for them.
Borrowing the election campaign slogan, Mark Carney's government is hoping to build a strong country by stimulating the economy with billions in spending. Over the next 5 years, the Liberals are promising $141 billion in new measures, which the government plans to offset with $51.2 billion in savings. So how deep is the budget going into the red? Well, Canada's deficit for this fiscal year is $78.3 billion. It's projected to shrink slightly, hitting $56.6 billion in 4 years. The finance minister blamed part of it on the trade dispute with the U.S. and support measures for affected industries.
Well, I think Canadians would understand 75% of it is really the headwind that we have faced, but Canada is not unique in that. The world has faced it, and you see it with global growth, which has been readjusted lower.
For the first time, operational and capital spending has been separated in this budget. The document shows the operational side will hit a surplus in 3 years. But some experts warn that change could lead to some creative accounting.
It is subject to a little bit of abuse. I would rather see a much narrower definition of capital investment than has been employed in this particular budget.
One of the biggest spends is $81.8 billion over 5 years on national defense, which will get Canada to its NATO commitment of 2%. Now, the government has also earmarked $51 billion over the next decade for new infrastructure projects in something called the Build Communities Strong Fund. There's $1.7 billion for a new strategy to attract international talent. And the Build Canada Homes program is getting $13 billion over 5 years, including $2.8 billion just for Indigenous housing. Still, the Conservatives and Bloc Québécois are already giving it a thumbs down.
On behalf of all the Canadians who can no longer afford to eat, heat, or house themselves because of Liberal inflation, we Conservatives cannot support this costly Liberal budget.
The Green Party and NDP aren't shutting the door yet.
There's positive and negatives in this budget, and we're going to take a comprehensive look and weigh it out in the aggregate.
Nova Scotia MP Chris D'Entremont announced he is crossing the floor from the Conservatives to the Liberals. In a statement, the Tories criticized D'Entremont for supporting their platform in April, but backing the Liberals just 7 months later. Either way, the government now needs only 2 more votes to pass its budget. Mike Lecouteur, CTV News, Ottawa.
A weekend death in Regina is now a homicide investigation. It's the 10th homicide of the year in the city, and it happened on Saturday at a home on the 1000 block of 12th Avenue. Police say a man was shot. His name will not be made public at the request of the family. We do know he was 19. The investigation is ongoing. The man charged in the Highway 39 shooting death of a woman near Weyburn will be back in court Thursday for a bail hearing. Chris Fallman is charged with 1 count of manslaughter and other gun-related charges in the death of Tanya Myers on September 12th. The bail hearing is set for Thursday at 2 p.m. Freedom Convoy organizer Tamara Leach is appealing her mischief conviction from earlier this year. Leach's lawyers say they'll argue that while there was a substantial evidence she encouraged protesters in the 2022 mass demonstration to be peaceful, lawful, and safe, there was no evidence linking her to the other misdeeds of others. They also say the trial judge failed to give effect to the principle that the Charter guarantee of freedom of expression protects communication that would otherwise be mischief. So-called Queen of Canada will be back in court today. Romano Didolo will be back in a courtroom. She was released on conditions. The owner of the now decommissioned Richmond School, Richard Mans, will also be in court. RCMP conducted a raid on the compound in early September. Only Mans and Didolo were charged. The SHA said their compound was unsafe to live in and ordered it closed. Both of the accused are facing a number of charges. Saskatoon murder trial now in its 2nd week. Jeremy Dodge, we turn things over to you.
Thank you, Daryl. We're into week 3 now. And on Tuesday, court heard from a key witness, a woman who was in the home at the time of the fatal shooting. CTV's Laurel Woodward now on what she heard.
On the 11th day of Andrew Rosenfeld's second-degree murder trial, his aunt took the stand. Rosenfeld is accused of killing his 20-year-old girlfriend, Nikera Brown. She was found shot in the head at around 8 p.m. on November 15, 2022, inside the apartment she shared with Rosenfeld. Court heard Rosenfeld's aunt, Robin Vermette, also lived in the home. This was her room. Meanwhile, Rosenfeld and Brown used the living room as their makeshift bedroom. Earlier that evening, Vermette testified she could hear the couple yelling at each other and swearing, but didn't know what they were fighting about. When the Crown prosecutor asked if that was the first time she'd heard them fight, Vermette chuckled and said no. She estimated the couple argued about 4 days a week. Vermette testified she was in her bedroom with her cats when she heard a loud gunshot followed by her nephew screaming. Within minutes, she said about 10 police officers were inside her 1-bedroom apartment. Police later found this gun tucked inside the box spring of the couple's bed. The trial is expected to continue on Wednesday. Laura Woodward, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Well, Daryl, thousands of people on the East Coast having some power issues this morning.
Yeah, Jerry, as an intense nor'easter moves through.
If the road gives way and we lose our infrastructure, we are left with nothing on the lower coast. We're in the dark, we have no water, so it's going to be an emergency situation.
Mayor Wanda Waddleton says the seawall was damaged in a storm last year, and she feels it will be no match for this storm, which is packing peak wind gusts of about 160 kilometers per hour in the area. 2 families have already been told to get out. Newfoundland Power was reporting more than 4,000 outages across the province this morning, blamed on the severe weather conditions. At least 26 people are dead and 26 missing after Typhoon Kamalji barreled through the central part of the Philippines, marking the 20th cyclone to hit the country this year. Disaster response officials say floodwaters caused most of the deaths and trapped people in their cars and on rooftops. More than 700,000 people have been impacted by the storm, which, with the Cebu province suffering the most damage. Around 380,000 people were forced to evacuate to safer ground before the typhoon's landfall. Authorities warned of torrential rains, destructive winds, and 3-meter storm surge as that storm moves northwest. RCMP say the man has died at the BC ostrich farm where protesters have been opposing the proposed cull for months. Officials say they were called to investigate the sudden death around 7 a.m. local time after members of the police liaison team found an unresponsive man at the Universal Ostrich Farm. Investigators say there's nothing to suggest the man's death was suspicious. U.S. President Donald Trump's key tool for deploying tariffs will face a critical legal test in the Supreme Court today. The top court is hearing from states and businesses that argue Trump's use of the national security statute to hit nearly every nation with tariffs goes beyond the powers of the president. Trump used the International Emergency Economic Powers Act of 1977 for his so-called Liberation Day. Tariffs and fentanyl-related duties on Canada, Mexico, and China. The Liberty Justice Center, which represents small businesses in the hearing, has said Congress would not have intended to hand unrestricted powers to the president. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has announced yet another deadly strike on a boat accused of carrying drugs in the eastern Pacific Ocean. Hegseth said the attack killed 2 people on the vessel, bringing the death toll from the Trump administration campaign in South American waters to at least 66 people, with 16 strikes carried out. The strike also comes as aircraft carrier began heading into the region in a new expansion of military firepower. Saskatchewan Rough Riders back at practice, getting ready to face the BC Lions in the West Final this weekend. They could be without one of their 1,000-yard receivers. Keyshawn Johnson wasn't at practice. Donovan Mace reports.
Heading into a do-or-die West Final, Keyshawn Johnson's status remains unknown.
Being smart with it. Keyshawn is going to be one of those guys.
Keyshawn Johnson, their leading receiver, who's been tremendous this season, has been sort of the fixture. So see him grab his leg right away.
The Riders' leading receiver leaving Saskatchewan's Week 19 game against the Toronto Argonauts with a knee injury and has not played since.
He's been running around and stuff like that, so it's good. We got everybody trending in the right spot.
Johnson, one of 2 Rider pass catchers to reach 1,000 yards receiving this season, and while number 3 status is questionable, the other appears to be ready to return.
For another first down.
With Dante Myers back at practice, taking full first-team reps after missing the last 3 games of the year.
We're fortunate, as just a byproduct of the work we put in. We wanted to clinch the West. We clinched the West.
A replenishing of the receiving core with Kean Schaefer-Baker and Sam Emelis also back at full strength.
It's something that is very underrated is the guys that have done a tremendous job stepping up for Sam and Schaefer during the year, and when Dante was out and when Keyshawn's out, we have guys that come in and there's nobody flinching, no batting eyes, and we just come out there and just execute.
We got some weapons back. You guys, you've seen Schaefer, you've seen Sam. You guys got to know me and Keyshawn this year. So it's gonna be real exciting. It's gonna be a nice show for Mosaic.
Now Johnson has not been ruled out for Saturday at this point, with coaches saying he continues to trend in the right direction to return this year. Donovan May, CTV News, Regina.
Brings us to the obvious next question, which is 30,000 plus are heading to the game. Are they wearing parkas? Is it going to warm up? What's going on?
Not only do I recommend a parka, I also recommend a hat and gloves to go with it. We are seeing those temperatures drop. Let's turn our attention to this morning view, though. It's brought to you by recyclemyelectronics.ca, where you can find a drop-off location near you. Cooler to start the day, already -9 in Regina. We're not really expecting to see too many of those positive temperatures until about the noon hour in Saskatchewan today. -8 to wake us up in Saskatoon. No snow on the way for the afternoon today, but we are going to be seeing it later on into the overnight hours. Now, you can see that system making its way in from Alberta during those evening hours, and then it's really overnight. This is at about 1:45 a.m. that we start to see some of those flurries falling in Saskatoon. We also see some precipitation making its way up from the United States. That's going to be tracking eastward, going to be right over top of Regina tomorrow morning and into the afternoon hours as well. And then we see those flurries that we saw in the central part tracking down towards the south over top of Yorkton in the Parkland region there. So the southeast corner could be getting a nice healthy mix of both rain and snow. Into Friday as well, we start to see some more of that snow falling down towards the south as well. So Thursday and Friday, those are the days that we're going to be seeing that nice mix of winter snow and rain. Now, current temperature is -8 in Buffalo Narrows, -10 in Spiritwood, -5 in Melfort, -5 in Hudson Bay, -10 in the Battlefords to wake us up, -9 in Regina, and -9 in Assiniboia as well. Now, the almanac showing just how normal these temperatures are that we're seeing today. Today's high for Regina is 6, for Saskatoon is 5. Now, that is exactly double the average for this time of the year in Saskatoon. That's typically about 2.5 degrees. 3.7 is the average for Regina. Last year in Regina, we were at 4 degrees on this day, 3 degrees in Saskatoon last year on this day. The record back in the year 1975 was 23.3 degrees. That would be nice to feel today. 1949, that was 18.9 degrees in Saskatoon. Now, your 5-day forecast in Regina, we talked about that precipitation on the way for the next 2 days. So rain on Thursday, snow on Friday. Temperatures, though, still going to be above the average for tomorrow at least, and then dropping down to 0 degrees on Friday. -4 on Saturday. Again, that is game day, so you're going to want to bundle up. -4 is the high in the afternoon, dropping down for kickoff time at 5:30, and wind chill definitely going to be a factor, making it feel like it's cooler. We're seeing similar conditions in Saskatoon in terms of seeing precipitation for the next 2 days, and then dropping down on Saturday to about -4, and then dropping down on Sunday to -2 with a mix of sun and cloud.
Let's take a look at this day in history. November 5th, 2017, Julie Lemieux was elected mayor of a town in Quebec, becoming the first transgender person elected mayor in Canada. November 5th, 2013, the Senate voted to suspend Mike Duffy, Pamela Wallin, and Patrick Brazeau without pay, but with benefits intact for the remainder of the session. November 5th, 2004, a Saskatchewan judge ruled that same-sex couples had the right to marry in the province.
All right, Allison, do you know what a penny farthing is?
No.
No. Well, let's find out. A group of penny farthing enthusiasts went for a ride through a park in Prague. Now, penny farthing is a vintage bicycle variety, most recognized for that huge front wheel and the small wheel in the back. You recognize that now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think your dad could
these
ride
guys wearing their best 1800s chic. 13 cyclists showed off their skills riding in formation, synchronized to music. They do this every year, and they've done it since 1868, and it looks quite difficult.
Which bone in his body do you think he would break, Allison, if Jeremy was to ride one of these? Hip?
Probably the back.
My whole back would go.
He's going right straight over.
He's going down.
Probably. Probably. I'd like to give this a try. You could pull this off, right?
I think I could.
Yeah, you could.
I really want to do a tandem bike.
Oh, yeah, that'd be fun. We live down the street from each other. We could tandem bike at 4 a.m. to work.
Yeah.
Please do that.
Would that ever be a sight?
That'd be great.
Would that ever be a sight?
Oh, man, I
We're not
would
far
love it.
either. We could pull that off.
Yeah.
Allison, of course, is here because it's Take Your Kid to Work Day. And that spawned our question of the day, which is, what did you want to be when you grew up? Hey, is your son also participating in Take Your Kid to Work Day? Is he somewhere else?
No, it's grade 9.
Just grade 9.
So he was here a few years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's take a look at some answers on the big board here. We have Sean saying, when I was little, I wanted to be a police officer when I grew up. I would never do that now, though. You know what?
LOL, he says.
Well, that's when it's so dangerous, right? So it would make me nervous. Michelle saying, my kid fantasy was to be a singer, but I always wanted to be an air traffic controller. I love the pace and the chaos of the whole thing. Never got to that level, but today I work as a senior dispatcher at a cable company.
Why not combine the two? Do some dancing and some air traffic controlling.
Hey, yeah, not a bad idea. All right. We have Kelly from Bigger saying, I wanted to be a vet tech, ended up owning a restaurant and a greenhouse at the same time. So Kelly from Bigger is still staying busy, booked and
coming for lunch.
Julie is just saying, I wanted to be a responsible adult. Mom and Dad never told me how much fun it is.
Oh boy, yeah, let's pay bills on time. That'll be great.
Of course, from earlier, we also had a chef, but now an accountant. And Howard saying, I always wanted to be a truck driver, wound up working as an electrician for 30 years in Calgary. Okay. So thank you so much for sharing your answers for today's question of the day.
A new piece of technology is now in use at the Regina Pasqua Hospital. Damien Smith has the details on a robot already helping with surgeries.
A new device is in use at the Pasqua Hospital. The Da Vinci surgical system has conducted almost 20 surgeries since September.
If you're a young surgeon, this is another way, another tool in your toolbox.
The robot-assisted system has a surgeon situated at the control panel, guiding the robot's arms that hold tiny surgical tools, as well as a 3D camera, which creates a detailed outline for the surgeon. The system is said to filter out hand tremors, sometimes induced by stress or fatigue. The key is efficiency.
All of these things kind of combine to lead to kind of these better patient outcomes that's been discussed over and over, decreased post-op complications, decreased pain, shorter hospital stays.
This is the third Da Vinci surgical system that has landed in Saskatchewan. St. Paul's Hospital in Saskatoon has two, the first arriving back in 2022. The health minister noting that the new system in Regina can be more geographically accommodating for those in southern Saskatchewan.
If you live in a place like Assiniboia, if you live in a place like Yorkton or Estevan, if you have to have major surgery, that typically happens in Regina.
The system can be used to remove cancerous tumors in organs, as well as urology, kidney, and bladder procedures. It can also be used for hysterectomies and hernias. More specialized procedures will be added as more surgeons are trained.
If you're comparing laparoscopic surgery to robotic surgery, the scale of benefits is less, especially with the smaller procedures. With the bigger procedures, there's a lot of evidence for decreased complication rates, less pain, lower readmission rates.
The Pasqua Hospital is aiming to conduct 300 annual surgeries with the Da Vinci device once it's fully operational. Damien Smith, CTV News, Regina.
Health Report, brought to you in part by Saskatchewan Blue Cross, protecting your health since 1946.
All right, let's head back out one more time and find Mike Siona, who is in Prince Albert this morning. Mike.
Well, one more time in Prince Albert this morning for Wrapped Up for the Holidays, a tremendous initiative to really share that holiday spirit and some holiday warm apparel and toques and blankets and snowsuits and ski pants. We've got everything down here. And we're chatting with Sharon Fall from Gateway Mall and Lyle Karasik here at Parkland Ambulance. Sharon, I understand that this initiative is almost 2 decades old now.
Yes, Lyle and I have been connected for quite some time on this initiative. We initially started it quite a number of years ago, maybe 18, not really sure. But yeah, we've had some great partners join us along the way. So it's a great initiative in our community. We love helping people out, and people love helping people. So definitely a great program to be able to participate in for all these years. We really do enjoy supporting our community and our organizations too.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Let's talk about some of those other partners. Obviously, we've got you two here with some of the wares that will be given away to those community partners. But who else is on board to make this happen this
Well,
year?
we have yourselves at CTV, and we thank CTV for coming on board. You've been there right from the start with us, so we thank you for that. We've got new this year. Grace Funeral Chapel is joining us, and we've got also a newer partner. They've been with us for a couple of years at Anderson Chrysler. Both fantastic community supporters in Prince Albert, and we thank them for being on board. And again, it gives the public convenience. You're driving, you're shopping, different hours at different locations where you can drop the stuff off. Again, gently used coats, boots, mittens, scarves, socks, you name it, we're going to take it, and we're going to wrap up our community in great fashion to keep them all warm this year.
Excellent. Well, we love that. We love that it's growing and that we've got more sponsors. We would obviously prefer if there wasn't as big a necessity for it, but it is what it is, and you can get involved and help get wrapped up for the holidays.
The Saskatchewan Huskies and Regina Rams football teams have only met once in the Canada West Conference Final, and that day, winter made its mark. Snowy conditions greeted both teams at Mosaic Stadium, and we got rare footage of this snow bowl on November 9th, 2002. The weather did not help the Rams, who fumbled twice in the first quarter, which the Huskies quickly converted into touchdowns, and by early in the second quarter, it was 28-0 for Saskatchewan. But Regina began staging a comeback, courtesy of this 1-yard plunge by quarterback Mark Anderson. And then perhaps the highlight of the game was Chris Ashman, who received a punt and galloped 89 yards in Arctic-like weather all the way to the house. The Rams had life and were on the march again when the Huskies defense stepped up, courtesy of this interception by Ryan Barnstable, and ran it back 92 yards for a touchdown with 17 seconds left in the first half. It was a game filled with wild plays in some wild weather, and in the end, the Huskies came out on top 44-28. To this day, it remains the only time the Huskies and the Rams have faced each other in the Canada West Conference Final. And if you want to check out more classic sports moments from the days of Wilco and Wood Finish televisions, you can check them out on our website.
8:30, welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. A Saskatoon man is thankful to be alive after a Thanksgiving collision south of the city. As Carla Shinkaruk tells us, he's now taking action, starting a petition to make safety changes at the intersection near Grasswood Road.
The intersection. Laurentius Givelishin was driving south on Highway 11 October 13th, passing the intersection near Grasswood Road when he was hit by this eastbound SUV. The impact sent his car rolling 3 times, landing upside down. While he escaped without major injuries, he says the outcome could have been much worse, and he's now determined to make sure it doesn't happen to others.
I will do everything in my power to change the safety regulation on this intersection. It's not only for today, for us, it's also for tomorrow for our children.
Givelishin, a pediatric intensive care doctor, says he treats children who have been injured in crashes, giving him even more motivation to push for change.
I have to take care of them after they come after such a critical accident. And in many situations, they are not as lucky as I am today.
Lindy Ooms drives this stretch of road often and passed by shortly after the crash.
I saw the car flipped over on the other side of the road. I saw there was glass everywhere and my heart just stopped.
She says this intersection is notoriously unsafe. It's support like this and accounts from others about safety here which pushed Givelishin to start a petition asking for an overpass. The Ministry of Highways responded to CTV News saying it appreciates the concerns raised by the petition, adding measures have already been taken at this intersection, like speed being reduced to 100 from 110. Again, north and southbound left turning lanes, acceleration lanes, intersection lighting, and 2 stop signs with flashing lights. It adds the ministry will continue to monitor this intersection for potential improvements. SGI, meanwhile, tells us that there were 11 collisions at this location from 2020 to 2024, about 2 a year. In those, 6 people were injured. No fatalities reported in that time. So Jivelishin tells me that he has a hard time driving on this stretch of road with the memory of that day still fresh in his mind, but he is hopeful that positive change is possible here. Carla Shinkaruk, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Ukrainian students studying at the University of Saskatchewan could be facing a major tuition increase. The university has informed about 24 students that they will have to pay international student rates after the winter semester. They were being charged the same tuition as Canadian students and refugees. It will see an annual tuition increase from $8,000 to over $38,000, and some say they just can't afford it.
People who flee the war typically don't have just $40,000 lying around. It's just not how it works. We're hoping that this government accepts the idea of continuing this program.
The federal and provincial governments were cost-sharing lower tuition for Ukrainian students. The province says they will discuss future funding with Ottawa. Saskatchewan's government is creating a memorial emblem to honor public safety personnel who die in the line of duty. The Saskatchewan memorial emblem will be made up of a medallion, a scroll, and a miniature pin to be worn by a family member or designated recipient of the fallen. The design for the emblem will be revealed at a later date, along with criteria. The government says the award will complement a planned memorial on the legislative grounds.
And this is something that we can now pass on to the family. It will be tangible. It will be a point of remembrance across Canada.
The NDP say they will support that government initiative. 3 years ago, the city of Regina began moving toward the use of new water meters, but one group of residents say they've brought about several issues. The residents say the problems with the meters include incorrect readings, which in some cases lead to higher water bills. The new water meters are meant to be customer-friendly, giving detailed water usage in homes down to the hour, but the group hopes options can be made for those who don't want them.
Allow us an opt-out. Allow the people that have been coerced and bullied into getting the smart meter, allow them to go back to an analog. The analog can and will work simultaneously with the smart meters. We are not saying that everybody has to turn it off. We're asking for those that have genuine concerns, either address the concerns and put them to bed, or allow us an opt-out without punitive fines.
CTV News has reached out to the city of Regina and are awaiting a response. The mayor will be on our set tomorrow. We can ask him then. The city has previously said the new water meters are necessary due to the old ones aging and to provide reliable and precise measurements for all water utility customers. Strong odor in the air in Saskatoon's North End was brought up in council yesterday. The smell is hydrogen sulfide, and the city's director of water says the moisture required in the process of removing H2S from the Marquis water facility is taking a toll on the equipment. To mitigate the issue, the city is only running the facility at night and monitoring the sensors closely as they explore long-term solutions.
They need to be wetted. They need to be wet to work effectively. That water, when it reacts and the bugs remove the hydrogen sulfide, creates a sulfuric acid. And what's happening is it's corroding the equipment, I think, more than perhaps the design firm anticipated, and that's causing mechanical problems for us.
The estimated $1.4 million to fix the issue will be proposed in the next city budget, which is announced on Thursday. The preservation of Indigenous languages is being discussed at the 2025 Language Keepers Gathering. It's over at Prairieland Park in Saskatoon, put on each year by the Saskatchewan Indigenous Culture Centre. It unites elders, knowledge keepers, educators, and learners to participate in keynote speeches, workshops, and network with other leaders to help revitalize language. The two-day event kicked off Tuesday with a keynote from Darlene Brander.
What you're really seeing in action is the 8 different language groups of Saskatchewan coming together from the various communities in First Nations communities in Saskatchewan, coming together here in Saskatoon. And what it really means is that people are able to visit with community members, they're able to visit with friends, and they're able to meet new people they're able to share their passion for language revitalization.
The two-day event wraps up later this afternoon. Residents in 3 Saskatchewan communities will have another option for a safe ride home this holiday season. Operation Red Nose will run between November 28th and December 31st. The service sees 3 volunteers help out per call. 1 volunteer will drive your vehicle to the safe destination. 2nd will tag along, and the 3rd will follow behind in your vehicle. Make sure it gets home as well. Service will be available in Saskatoon, Prince Albert, and the Battlefords. Although Operation Red Nose is free, it does accept donations which go to local youth and amateur sports organizations. A wonderful way to get home if you need one this holiday season. Let's get over to Kayleen Sawatsky. Good morning.
Good morning. Well, speaking of the holiday season, we're seeing those temperatures go down in our 7-day forecast. Game day in particular going to be a chilly one. Make sure you bundle up for that. Right now in Regina, we're still in the negatives, and we're still going to be seeing those negative temperatures really in many places across the province until about that noon hour. That's where we see them bump up into those positives. -9 though to start the day. Some clouds also starting the day in many places across the province. Southwest winds coming in at 11 kilometers per hour in Regina and 9 kilometers per hour in Saskatoon. So winds not so strong this morning, not really going to be super strong in the afternoon either. -8 is where we're starting the day in Saskatoon. Let's take a look at this futurecast now. We do see that system making its way in from Alberta. That's going to start impacting the central zones overnight, and then into the very early morning hours, we also see that rain coming up from the United States, impacting areas down in that southwest corner. Now into tomorrow morning and afternoon, we really are going to be seeing a lot of that precipitation across the province. So Prince Albert going to be seeing those flurries, Regina going to be seeing that rain, and then down through the later parts of the afternoon and into those evening hours, we start to think it's going to push off, but it doesn't. It really clings to areas around the Parkland region, bringing some more of that snow, and then some more snow on the way for Friday as well. Thankfully, that clears up for game day though. Current temperatures now, we're seeing -10 in Spiritwood, -10 in Stony Rapids, -8 in Prince Albert, -5 in Hudson Bay, -9 in Kindersley, and -8 to start the day in Estevan. Later on this afternoon, we'll be seeing temperatures above or right around the seasonal average. So those areas seeing it right around Prince Albert and the Battlefords. However, down towards the south, we're seeing temperatures warmer than that average. So 8 degrees for Swift Current, 8 degrees for Moose Jaw, 7 degrees expected for Estevan, and 5 degrees for Yorkton. Let's take a look at that 7-day forecast now. So we talked about that rain on the way tomorrow, but the temperature going to be going up to about 7 degrees. 0 degrees on Friday with that snow on the way. -4 on Saturday for your game day. Definitely bundle up for that. -2 on Sunday, 6 degrees on Monday, and 5 degrees on Tuesday. In Saskatoon, we're seeing temperatures drop tomorrow down to about 1 degree, -3 on Friday, and then dropping down even farther down to about -4 for Saturday with that mix of sun and cloud. -2 on Sunday, mainly sunny, and then some more clouds returning on Monday, 6 degrees. More sunshine on Tuesday, 5 degrees.
We will never forget your bravery, your strength, your sacrifice.
The very best and bravest of our nation, these heroic souls stood on guard for freedom.
Join the CTV News team and me as Canada comes together to remember.
Remembrance Day 2025, Tuesday morning at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific on CTV.
When it comes to knitting, Janella Pye is hooked. So let's head back over to her once more, see what else she's getting up to with Angels for Warmth.
All right, well, you might be wondering where I got this beautiful warm scarf from, and that is the Angels for Warmth. Of course, I've got Ruth Barlow back with me now. Ruth, those meetings where people can come and join, learn a little bit more, are on the first Wednesday of every month. How else can people get involved?
Okay, the meeting is probably the best example, but we're on Facebook, and we're on email and website, so it gives opportunities there, and it's pretty straightforward for Angels for Warmth. But the meeting day is the first Wednesday of the month, 1 o'clock at Holy Trinity, and we do, as I said, our drop-off, pick up of supplies, and so on. We do take donations of yarn and fabric, and Lauren Drugs and the Regina Senior Center on Winnipeg Street are drop-off locations for that. But again, check the Facebook and website for our contact information, and we can do pickups if there are larger quantities as well. But we're aiming for need for warmth, and the scarves, the mitts, and the hats are the main issue through the winter. And slippers and socks are another big item that are required because a lot of people don't have them. And of course, we haven't been wearing socks in shoes for a while, so that helps for a little additional warmth as well.
Absolutely, it does. Ruth, this was fantastic. I can tell just how much love and care have gone into each of these items. Thank you so much for having us here this morning. We really love talking with you.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Alrighty, well, that wraps things up with us this morning with Angels for Warmth.
Hope's Home is celebrating 20 years in Saskatchewan, offering medically inclusive learning and childcare so all kids can grow in a supportive environment. Here to share more on the impact Hope's Home has had in our community, Jacqueline and Ethan. Good morning and welcome to the studio to you both.
Well, good morning.
So, Jackie, I'm going to come over to you first. Let's just start by talking about the impact that Hope's Home has had in the past 20 years.
Absolutely. You know, we've grown across the province and since we started 20 years ago in my home, where we're now in Regina, up in Prince Albert. We've expanded to Saskatoon and also out in Warman. And it's been a huge impact over hundreds of families with children with complex medical needs in our early learning center. We are medically inclusive, so we have nurses on staff so parents who have a child with complex medical needs can go to work. And we also have homes where 33 children live with us across the province of Saskatchewan. So we've grown a lot, and I think what I hear most from families is that it gives their child a place to go during the day so they can maintain their employment or even just have a little bit of respite for a child that needs that 24-hour nursing care.
A wonderful organization with a very beautiful impact. Ethan, I'm going to come over to you now. Talk to me a little bit about your journey with Hope's Home and what it means to you.
Well, it means childhood, and it helps me to always a kid. Like I was those lot of kids with disabilities, and I was a disability kid myself. But I had made a lot of friends with Jackie's kids and all the aunts and uncles at Hope's Home. I was a bit of a troublemaker, but I matured. I matured of age, and I thought it was really good experience for me.
You don't look like a troublemaker to me, Ethan.
I know.
Jackie's gonna laugh. Jackie, I'm going to come back on over to you now. So it's been a beautiful journey over the past 20 years, but what is to come?
Oh, my goodness. So, like I said, we just expanded in Saskatoon. And, you know, with that expansion, we realized there's still such a gap in care, and there's still a large wait list, not only in Saskatoon, but in Regina and across the province for that medically inclusive child care, but also for our homes. We have children living in the Jim Pattison Children's Hospital right now that need a place to live. So just being able to continue to expand those services in our province. We're excited about that campaign in Saskatoon where we're raising money to finish that 144 spaces. We've opened 90 and we need the 54 open. And just looking at the needs, I would say also we get a lot of calls from different provinces saying that's a unique service. The medical child care is unique in Canada, and we were the first to start it. And so other provinces are looking at us. So maybe in the next 20 years, we'll expand across Canada.
All right, fingers crossed. Thank you both for joining us this morning. Unfortunately, we are out of time, but you can learn more. Head on over to their website. It's hopeshome.org.
Jonathan Bailey is People Magazine's Sexiest Man Alive. The British actor's big breakout role for American audiences was in the Netflix period drama Bridgerton. He also appeared in this summer's Jurassic World Rebirth and will reprise his role in Wicked for Good later this month. It's It's only been a month since Katy Perry's world tour ended, but the pop star is already hinting at some new music. The woman's world singer posting a cryptic photo to social media of her face with bruises and scratches all over it, seemingly a reference to her upcoming single. No word on a release date.
Someone in this room knows more than they're telling us.
Helena Bonham Carter headlines a new Agatha Christie adaptation from Netflix called 7 Dials. It's a mystery about a practical joke that goes awry at a country house party. Martin Freeman also stars. Look for 7 Dials to debut on Netflix on January 15th. Happy birthday to Kris Jenner. The Keeping Up with the Kardashians mother and matriarch of the Kardashian-Jenner family turned 70 years old today. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. Melissa Adon, ABC News.
But it keep coming back like a revolving door. Said I want you less, but I just want you more. Said it keep coming back. We dreaming hard, we came so far now. I believe we're going up, up,
Greetings, everyone. The Hunting Council on Littlebone First Nation is an initiative started to help feed the nation. Now the council has expanded, sharing their skills and traditions with the next generation, even donating some of their supply in the city of Yorkton. CTV's Frigita DeClute tells us more.
After a successful community hunt, Littlebone First Nation is welcoming band members for some mouth-watering homemade delicacies.
We have processed moose sausage, we have processed elk patties, and then elk roast, elk steaks, elk stew chunks, elk ground burger.
He says they follow ethical practices during the hunt. For example, they only harvest one moose.
This year we took a few groups of young men out, and a lot of them were able to harvest their first animals, but a part of our tradition is their first animal is meant to be given away and shared.
Upholding the tradition fed the First Nation just outside of Yorkton.
We hunted, gathered, things like that, and for them to offer wild meat after so many years of us living off reserve, it's a blessing for my family so that they have a taste of their culture and identity and living off Mother Earth.
Other than the 3,500 pounds of game meat, the Hunting Council is also distributing bread, gravy, corn, and potatoes. Among the helpers is the mayor of Yorkton.
It's been quite rare that there's any involvement with the city and with the First Nation here. So when Cameron and I were able to link up, I just thought this was a wonderful opportunity for me to come out and show support from Yorkton to the First Nation here.
Through Yorkton schools, the Littlebone Hunting Council also teaches students how to process game, so the tradition can continue on for generations to come. Frugina DeClute, CTV News, Littlebone First Nation.
If you have a story you would like to see in this segment, here's how to reach us. You can contact me by email, and you can also watch past episodes and segments of Indigenous Circle on our CTV Regina and CTV Saskatoon websites.
Indigenous Circle is brought to you in part by Saskatchewan Indigenous Enterprise Foundation, growing the First Nation entrepreneurial spirit. Go.
Time now to bring you a story of two 11-year-olds, a football, and a friendship that stood the test of time.
That's right. CTV's Adam Sawatsky finds out how one toss helped childhood friends pick up right where they left off in Vancouver Park.
This is a story that began more than half a century ago.
We're just tossing the ball like we've been doing since we probably about 11 years old.
Back in grade 5, when Chris with the hat and David without realized they had a couple things in common.
Music, football. What else is there?
When they weren't listening to the Beatles or passing the pigskin, Chris and David were making questionable choices.
We were both sent to the back of the class. If there was something stupid, we'd probably do it.
Well, David and Chris remained friends throughout high school and became roommates after, before they found themselves on opposite sides of the world.
Relationships, jobs, stuff like that.
Until 40 years later, Chris called David out of the blue, asked if he wanted to toss the ball, and effortlessly picked up where they left off.
Well, because he's got great taste in friendships.
That's the secret to the friendship?
Yeah.
After doing this almost daily since, what began as a way for old friends to simply have fun,
Nothing better than football.
has evolved into something more philosophical.
So just a way to really just get back to my body knows more than my brain, because it's really hard to listen to your unconscious or be aware of it until you shut up.
So they silently throw the ball back and forth, engaging in a conversation unhindered by words.
Exhilarating. It's good. It feels good.
Because what could feel better than knowing no matter how far you and your friend find yourselves apart, you'll always know how to bring yourselves back together. Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Vancouver.
All right, Allison, what do you think of Dad's job?
It's pretty cool. I get why he likes it.
Yeah, you did great this morning. No cap.
Okay.
Oh, no, you didn't. This is why you have kids, right?
Yeah.
You have kids specifically so you can embarrass them. How many of your friends have Snapchatted you pictures of you on screen and some sort of comment about your dad saying weird things?
Well,
one or two?
it's a little annoying, but...
Okay.
God bless.
Welcome to fame.
Welcome to local celebrity. Let's get to your sidebar. Allison, have you ever seen the movie The Mummy?
I do not believe so.
Brendan Fraser is in that, and some exciting news this morning. If you are a movie lover, Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz, they are reportedly in talks to reunite for a next installment of the franchise. The news was reported online by entertainment site Deadline, which said it had learned from the prospective movie about multiple sources. Now, while the plan has not yet officially been confirmed, the site reported that the next installment will be written by David Coggeshall, whose previous credits include The Family Plan and Deliverance. Should have some Bren fans a little excited.
And we are Bren fans.
We are.
Is that a term?
No, we invented it.
Yeah, we did, yeah.
Okay.
Can we talk about our Brendan Fraser?
It's going to be a while.
Love?
Yeah, we do love Brendan Fraser, don't we? Big fans.
Great.
Big fans. What do you got for us, Jeremy? Or no, what do you have for us, Allison?
Oh, you want to do this one?
She might as well.
Okay. Going in cold.
There you go.
Go.
One of Saskatchewan's own bands is going on a Canadian tour with 3 stops in their home province.
Crushed it. Crushed it. Sheepdogs are coming to town. You can get your tickets anywhere online. Allison, thank you so much for spending some time with us today. We appreciate you.
Thanks.
Jeremy was also there. Time out. We're back in a few hours. We'll see you there.